Your three-point shooting percentage is 99%. Curry would gasp and call you a demon. But even so, you're still bouncing around the NBA, having been traded to 8 different teams because the head coaches never gave you a chance. You never proved your worth on any team until the final day of your 10-day short-term contract with the Lakers. Finally, the opportunity arrived. The score is Lakers 80, Warriors 110, trailing by a full 30 points. Like many games before, the Lakers' offense is like constipation. Their 3-4, 18 shooting from 3 is painful to watch. The Warriors, on the other hand, their star Curry has entered God mode again. 11, 4, 15 from beyond the arc. He alone has outscored the entire Lakers team from 3. The game is in the final 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. Seeing no hope of closing the gap, the Lakers head coach has already pulled LeBron and Anthony Davis and the other starters. LeBron is looking down, focused intently on biting his fingernails. Anthony Davis's eyes are on the court, but his mind is somewhere else entirely. In this kind of environment, the head coach shakes his head helplessly. His gaze sweeps across the bench and finally lands on you. This young man from the East, though his talent is average and he never got playing time with the Lakers, he's always worked hard in practice, humble and low-key. The head coach has taken a liking to you. Plus, tonight is the last night of your 10-day contract. He figured he'd give you a chance to show what you've got. The Lakers definitely won't offer you a second 10-day deal. But if another team happens to notice you, it's not impossible they'd give you a job, though the odds are basically negligible. With that in mind, the head coach waves you over. Time for you to shine. Your attention has been on the head coach the whole time. Hearing his call, you feel a rush of blood surge to your head. You shoot to your feet. It's been 3 months since you last played. Finally, you're standing on an NBA court again. Just then, a voice echoes in your mind. Congratulations, host. You've earned a chance to play for the Lakers. System activated. Reward: 10 minutes of unstoppable three-point shooting. You pause mid-step. Before you can think too much, the referee on the sideline is already waving you in. You quickly jog onto the court. Meanwhile, in a Penguin NBA live stream across the ocean, the 2 commentators see you on screen and casually mention, our Chinese player, Wang Yi, is in the game. Let's see how he does. No further introduction, just a brief mention. After all, you've been riding the bench in the NBA for 2 years. Everyone has seen it. Neither commentator is optimistic about you, and the live stream chat is full of abuse. First thing I see when I enter the stream is this guy. What bad luck. Embarrassing us on the international stage. Just come back home already. Back when you first entered the NBA, you were hailed as the next big thing. Domestic fans hyped you up to the skies, but then you injured your wrist in practice and performed poorly on the court. Plus, many NBA coaches themselves have a bias against Eastern players, never giving you a chance. Gradually, you became a fringe player, and most domestic fans started cursing you out, wishing you'd rot in hell. There are some who understand you, but compared to the haters, they're practically non-existent. Right now, at Staples Center, the Lakers are inbounding the ball. As the shooting guard, you head to the Lakers half after the inbound. The Lakers players on the court are all guys who only play during garbage time. Now that they finally got a chance to play, naturally, they all want to show off. Nobody wants to run plays together. Over 2 possessions, each of the 4 of them took a shot. None of them scored. Instead, the lead grew even larger, to as much as 35 points. Finally, on the 3rd possession, during a Lakers offensive set, the ball finds you at the top of the three-point arc. The moment you catch the ball, you feel a surge of energy. You feel filled with an indescribable power, as if you've been dominating the court for decades. Your shot feels incredibly good. Seeing the defender standing in front of you, loose and relaxed, you rise up without hesitation. A textbook shooting form, with a beautiful fadeaway. The ball arcs gracefully through the air and swishes through the net. A beautiful three-pointer, but this shot barely draws anyone's attention. Compared to the massive 30-point deficit, this 1-3 is a drop in the bucket. In the stands, a third of the crowd has already left. Of those remaining, most are chatting or playing on their phones. Across the ocean, in the Penguin live stream, the 2 commentators are chatting about team standings, completely missing that the player from China just hit a beautiful 3. The chat is full of sarcastic comments. He actually made a 3. Must be pure luck. Forget luck. If he makes 2 more 3s, I'll eat my own shoe. On the court, the game continues. After the Warriors miss a shot, the Lakers push the ball again. After 2 Lakers players fumble a pass, almost getting stolen by the Warriors, luckily, the ball bounces around and finds its way to you at the top of the arc. You catch it and don't hesitate. rise and fire. You're on fire right now. If you don't give it everything you've got, after tonight's contract ends, you'll never get another chance to play in the NBA. Forget chasing your dreams. Even making a living would be tough. Swish, the ball arcs over the rim and drops through the net again. Another beautiful three. 86 to 115, the lead is down at 29. But this three still doesn't stir any reaction from the crowd. Only the Lakers' head coach claps enthusiastically, encouraging you. LeBron has stopped biting his nails. He's clapping and encouraging you too, as the team leader. When he sees a teammate playing well, he naturally steps up to show support. Next, the Warriors turn the ball over. Lakers fast break. You put your head down and sprint, running as fast as you can to the other end, setting up in the corner. The Lakers' point guard wants to drive for a layup, but the Warriors' defense is quick to recover. The Warriors' center has already planted himself in the lane, blocking the drive. The point guard instinctively passes it to you. Feed the hot hand. That's basic basketball IQ. You rise up without hesitation and fire. Clank. The three hits the rim. A dull thud echoes. Luckily, the ball bounces up and hits the backboard, then rattles around the rim 4 times, before finally dropping in. 89 to 115, the Lakers are within 26. This time, a few scattered applause from the crowd. You have hit 3 threes in under a minute. That earns a bit of surprise. But that's about it. In the Penguin NBA livestream, fans in the chat start egging him on. He made 2 more threes. Where's that guy who was begging to eat his own shoe? However, the shithead had already shit his way out of there. Staples Center. The Warriors' head coach immediately called a timeout, although the Chinese guy the Lakers just brought in had scored 9 straight points. It seemed like a drop in the bucket. But to be safe, he still wanted to quickly go over the defense on this Chinese player. He called all the players over, pointing at the player on the bench. With the best on-ball defense, an afro-headed guy, he said, "You're guarding Lakers #1. I'd rather let him drive than let him shoot threes." The afro-head glanced sideways at the Easterner in the distance, a hint of disdain curling his lips. He nodded. "Don't worry, coach. I'll guard him so hard he'll cry for his mommy," and crawl back to the East. On the Lakers side, the head coach simply gave the Lakers players a quick setup. Set screens for Wang. Wang, if you have the look, take the three. Be decisive. He's encouraging you. Hearing that, your heart warmed slightly. This was the first time since entering the NBA that a head coach had proactively drawn up a play for you. Even though it was just a simple screenplay, it still excited you. So you nodded firmly, your eyes blazing with fiery determination. Just then, team leader LeBron James walked over, grabbed your hand, and gave you a heavy high five. "Hey, man, I love that three of yours, but I expect to see more." You nod, chest out, head high, and say with confidence, "You will." Meanwhile, in the Penguin livestream room, too, commentators were doing an end-of-game rundown. Let's look at the Lakers scoring. LeBron, 23 points. AD, 28 points. Wang Yi, 9 points. At that point, the commentator paused slightly. "Our player Wang Yi has already scored 9 points?" The other commentator said, "He just hit 2, or was it 3 threes? Let me check. Yeah, it's 3 threes. 3, 4, 3. Great percentage. 9 points. That's Wang Yi's single-game career high in the NBA. Let's see if he has any more threes in him." But his wrist is injured. That last 3 looked a bit off. Maybe he won't shoot another one. After all, shooting threes puts too much pressure on the wrist. As they spoke, the game resumed. The Warriors scored 2 points on a give and go. The lead was back up to 28. Coming back the other way, the Lakers were on offense again. The Warriors' afro head was glued to you. The coach told him to guard the Easterner, so he was going to guard the Easterner. And he was muttering nonstop, running his mouth with trash talk. "Easterner, with that frail little body of yours, can you even still chuck up threes? Take a break. Don't worry. I'll stick to you like glue until you're crying like a woman." You ignore the afro-head's trash talk. After all, you've always preferred to let your play do the talking. Following the coach's play, you came off a screen and caught the ball at the top of the key again. The afro-head had already recovered. You only had a split second to shoot, but you didn't hesitate at all. Stop, jump, raise, flick, release. One smooth motion. The whole sequence was fluid, as smooth as silk. The ball sailed over the afro-head's fingertips as he closed out, tracing an orange arc onto the spotlight. Swish. The net rippled. Nothing but net. You pulled your right hand back, glanced at the afro-head, a mysterious smile already forming on your lips. Another incredibly smooth shot. At that moment, you finally realized that tonight's scorching hot touch was probably all thanks to the system's godly 3-point experience card. The moment it left your hand, you knew it was going in. So this is how it feels when a great shooter shoots? You couldn't help but glance at Curry on the Warriors bench. Curry also happened to be looking over, seemingly casually, at the Afro head. The Afro head followed behind you, still yapping away. Your opponent is me. Don't get the wrong idea. Next, I'm going to guard you until you question your existence. Until you cry and crawl back to your country, without even turning your head. You rarely shot back. I'll guard you until you shut up. If you hadn't said anything, maybe it would have been fine. But that got the Afro head even more riled up. He chased you, spewing trash talk nonstop. And you didn't say another word, treating it like nothing more than a few dogs barking. At this point, thanks to your 4 threes, the lead had been cut to 25. From 35 to 25, it felt like it happened in an instant. The Lakers players on the sideline were already on their feet. Even if they lost tonight, your 4 threes in just a minute and a half was impressive enough. Next possession, the Warriors missed. On the Lakers' offensive possession, you called for the ball as soon as you crossed half court. Your performance had already won over the Lakers' point guard. The ball naturally came to you. The Warriors' Afro head was already closing in. You used a teammate's screen to dribble. The Afro head got caught on it, giving you a little bit of space. You were still 2 meters behind the three-point line. If you kept dribbling, the Afro head would be right back on you. So without a second thought, you stopped, raised, and flicked your wrist. Swish. Another 3. The lead was down to 22. In an instant, a third of the crowd rose to their feet, cheering. Even though there was less than 3 minutes left, and the lead was still over 20. It was definitely out of reach. But this Eastern man with 5 straight threes had reignited their passion. This Easterner is good. He's a Lakers Curry. How have I never seen him before? What's his name? He's a Lakers 10-day contract player, but I don't know his name either. As that shot went in, you felt your adrenaline spike. Your confidence swelled. At this moment, the rim felt as wide as the ocean. No matter how you threw it, the ball would obediently drop through the hoop. On the Warriors bench, Curry's eyes flickered. As a historic three-point shooter, the pioneer of the small ball era, seeing another man hit 5 threes in a row, his competitive fire was lit. He wanted to face this man on the court. But when he looked at the head coach, the coach subtly shook his head. They had this game in the bag. No need to put Curry back in. Next possession, the Warriors clanked another 3. Lakers ball. After crossing half court, you called for the ball again. This time, the Afro head had learned his lesson. Before you even caught the ball, he was already planted, 2 meters behind the three-point line, giving you no room to shoot. You dribbled, glancing at your right hand. Seeing you seem a bit hesitant, the Afro head got fired up. He clapped his hands loudly and gestured at you dramatically. Come on, if you got the guts, hit another one. I bet shimtas boots. You missed this one. This kind of trash talk is a psychological tactic. Shooting, especially three-pointers, is a scoring method that truly tests your mental toughness. The slightest change in your mindset, and your form will break down. And when your form breaks down, there was no way he was making that shot. Hearing that, your competitive fire was ignited. You kept dribbling, but you didn't move forward. Instead, you dribbled back 3 steps. Your foot landed right on the half-court line. The Afro guy saw this and flashed a grin of white teeth. He laughed. A logo 3 from half-court? You think you're Stephen Curry? Hi, you old Eastern guy. Looks like you're still asleep. Meanwhile, the white commentator on site was stunned. Oh my God. What is this Eastern guy doing? The other commentator joked. Is he going for a logo 3? Can a Chinese guy hit a logo 3? After hitting 5 threes in a row, he's getting cocky, thinking he's Curry. There was a hint of mockery in the commentators' voices. But before they could finish their words, you had already pushed the shot off. From half court, you had to use more power. But the release felt perfect. You knew it was going in. Right after the release, the ball was still in the air, but you had already turned around. Facing away from the basket, you raised your hand high. Your right hand held up 3 fingers, making the three-point signal. The ball traced a long arc through the air. 1 second after you made the signal, it slammed into the rim like a cannonball. Boom! Logo 3 done. This 3 wasn't swish. It was powerful and forceful, like a cannonball. It streaked across half the court and slammed violently through the hoop. It also slammed into the Staples Center. The entire arena erupted instantly. Oh my God, it's a logo 3. God, what am I seeing? He turned around to celebrate before it even dropped. That is so cool. The decibel level in the arena skyrocketed. After all, a logo 3 is visually stunning. And to turn and celebrate before it goes in. Such a badass move. Even Curry has never done that. Not just the fans in the arena. Even the 2 commentators who were just mocking you couldn't help but shout in amazement. My God, what am I seeing? A logo 3. Unbelievable. He actually did it. He's the Lakers' Stephen Curry. That's how NBA commentators are. They flip with the wind. They were just mocking you. Now they're singing your praises, without a hint of shame. On the Jumbotron, the camera lingered on you. Then, after a moment, it cut to Curry on the sideline. Warriors head coach, Kerr, shook his head helplessly. He glanced at Curry. So this is what it feels like when the other team has their own Curry. Curry hadn't moved an inch, but there was a fiery look in his eyes. At the same time, the Lakers bench was on its feet. The bench players were furiously waving their towels. Even the starters were jumping and high-fiving. Because of that incredible shot, Anthony Davis also stood up, forgetting the pain. His thick eyebrows shot up. His big eyes were full of disbelief. LeBron James quickly stood up, raising both hands to make the three-point signal. His face was a picture of exaggeration. He kept repeating, oh my God, across the ocean. In the 10-cent NBA livestream studio, the two commentators were also excited. Their eyes were practically glowing. 6 threes in 2 minutes, including a logo 3. Oh my God. That's incredible. Absolutely insane. 18 points. Our player, Wang Yi, has scored 18 points in 2 minutes. This is beyond imagination. Because it was garbage time in the live stream, most viewers had already left. The remaining viewers started flooding the chat with comments. GOAT. 666. No way. Is our guy finally breaking out? He celebrated before the logo 3 even went in. I want a boyfriend that cool. Of course, there were also some haters in the chat. Yeah, played 2 years in the NBA. Scored less than 100 points total. Got lucky this one game. Hits a few threes, and they're acting like he's the GOAT. He should just come back home. Stop embarrassing us. Let's see him hit a few more then. Stay humble, man. Turning to celebrate after a 3 is way too cocky. Disrespectful. If he makes 8 threes, I'll eat my own shoe on stream. Back on the court. After hitting that logo 3, your confidence was at an all-time high. The deficit was now down to 19 points. This was the feeling you wanted. Your body was trembling with excitement. Your blood was on fire. Turning to celebrate right after the shot. Many players have done that. LeBron has done it. Curry has done it too. But turning to celebrate right after a logo 3, you're the first. You believe in staying humble. But basketball is a sport about showing off. On the court, you should give it your all and show your personality. If you can't be flashy on the court, then why play at all? Stay humble in life, but be bold on the court. The Afro guy was just standing there, watching the ball slam through the net and bounce on the floor. His eyes were wide, looking like he'd seen a ghost. He didn't say a word for a long time. You glanced at him and said calmly, "Hey, buddy, don't forget my $100. The Afro guy finally snapped out of it. He cursed. "Damn you, you Eastern bastard. You've pissed me off." But you had already turned and headed back to your own end. Next possession. The Warriors' offense was stopped. The Lakers' point guard brought the ball up and passed it straight to you. He also came to set a screen for you, planning to let you shoot a 3 off the screen. You were already feeling it. You waved him off. No need. You signaled for the point guard to clear out. He just shrugged and spread the floor. You faced the Afro guy. You thought about beckoning him with your finger, but that's a technical foul. You weren't afraid of tech. But a tech costs $25,000. For a guy on a 10-day contract like you, that's a fortune. So you suppressed the urge to beckon him and said in your not-so-perfect English, "Come on, buddy." The Afro guy was already heated. He stepped right up to you, spreading his legs, getting into a defensive stance like his life depended on it. A mysterious smile curled at the corner of your mouth. You suddenly stepped right with your right foot. The Afro guy quickly shifted to follow, but you had already pulled your right foot back and jumped. The Afro guy knew he'd been fooled. He cursed "fuck" under his breath. Then he hurried to contest the shot. There was only a split second of an opening, but you had already released the 3. Every Laker on the sideline stood up. All the fans were locked onto the ball. Swish. It went right through the net. At the same time, the Afro guy, having lunged too hard, knocked you to the floor. Every Lakers player on the sideline was on their feet. Every fan in the arena had their eyes locked on the ball. Swish. The ball dropped clean through the net. At the same time, the Afro guy, having lunged too hard, sent you crashing to the floor. Swish, and the whistle blows. The Afro guy is called for a foul. The crowd erupts again. That's 7 threes. 3-pointers, my God. 2.5 minutes. 21 points. That scoring explosion is just insane. This Easter guy is too good. How is he this good and only on a 10-day contract? Lakers, give him a guaranteed deal now, or you'll regret it when another team snatches him up. Meanwhile, the two commentators are screaming their lungs out. Wow, this is absolutely one of the most incredible performances I've ever seen. Amazing. Truly amazing. Compared to these two commentators, Across the ocean in China, the fans have a much richer vocabulary, and their emotions are far more expressive. Holy crap. No way. What the hell? On the court. You look at the Afro guy, feeling absolutely delighted inside. The Afro guy's face is now as dark as iron. No more trash talk. He's completely silent. The guy he was guarding had just dropped over a dozen points on him in just over 2 minutes. Especially that last play. You called him out to defend you, then rose up right in his face and drilled a deep three. That was definitely low on damage, but extremely high on humiliation. How could he possibly have the face to trash talk now? Funny, he'd said earlier, he'd make you cry and crawl back. Well, look at it now. Not only are you not crying, but he's the one on the verge of tears from your shooting. After you sink the free throw for the N1, the scoreboard reads, Lakers 97, Warriors 112. Only down by 15 now. From 35 to 15, it seems like it happened in an instant. 2.5 minutes. Down by 15. The chance of coming back is almost zero. But with your insane performance, who would dare say that for sure? If you hit 2 more threes, the lead would be down to single digits. The Warriors' head coach calls another timeout. He's a bit annoyed. He yells at the players on the court. Double team him. I want to double team now. The Warriors players are stunned by the coach's words. They all think they must have misheard. Double team him whenever he has the ball. Make him pass it to someone else. Do not let him take another three. The players look at each other in disbelief. Double teaming a guy on a 10-day contract, a guy whose name they can't even pronounce? Isn't that giving him way too much respect? But no one dares question the head coach. When they get back on the court, the Warriors follow the coach's orders and immediately send a double team at you. The commentator laughs. My God, do you see that? Are you seeing this? The other commentator starts laughing too. The Warriors are using a double team on him. This is definitely an honor for him. The crowd is having a great time with this too. But you're not laughing. Even with the system's help, your wrist is still injured. It hurts every time you dribble. Now, facing a double team, you have to get rid of the ball quickly, hoping your open teammates can capitalize. Unfortunately, both threes from your teammates rattle out. But even so, you keep running off screens, looking for any opening. In the final 2.5 minutes, you manage to find 2 more opportunities and knock down 2 more threes. Every time you hit one, the crowd roars like a tidal wave. Finally, when the halftime buzzer sounds, the score is frozen at 111 to 118. The Lakers lose by just 7 points. Yet the crowd shows no sign of disappointment. They don't know your name, so they chant your jersey number. Number one, number one. Even though they lost, they seem happier than if they'd won. LeBron, the team's leader, walks over immediately. He gives you a big hug and whispers in your ear, bro, you really did it. 28 points in 5 minutes. Thank you for letting me witness a great performance. Anthony Davis comes over too, high-fiving you in celebration. The Lakers lost the game, but they're acting like they won. Over on the Warriors' side, despite the win, everyone has a grim look on their face. Some are even frustrated, especially the head coach, who broke out in a cold sweat. Up 30 points with 5 minutes left. It should have been a blowout win, but they almost let it slip away. If they had actually lost, he would have been nailed to the pillar of shame in history, never to recover. As per tradition, after the game, the key players from both teams shake hands. A graceful, gentle voice rings out. Stephen Curry, the Warriors star, first, hugs LeBron and Anthony Davis. They exchange a few words. Then Curry walks straight towards you. A spark of competitive fire flashes in his eyes as he says, your three-point shooting is incredible. You immediately respond, yours isn't too bad either. A signature grin appears on Curry's face. That kid-like smile. Even with the beard he's grown, his smile is still so endearing. He truly lives up to the nickname, the baby-faced assassin. Curry adds, I hope we can settle this on the court someday. You nod firmly, your eyes burning with the same fire. If given the chance, who wouldn't want to challenge the absolute best in their field? Just then, a bench player from the Lakers walks over and says, GM Pelinka wants to see you. Hearing this, your heart skips a beat. Your 10-day contract is up. If the Lakers didn't want to re-sign you, they just call your agent. Only if they plan to offer you a new deal. Would the GM come to tell you personally? LeBron, standing nearby, hears this and is happy for you. He smiles, Wang. I told you, maybe tonight is the start of your luck. You reply with a thanks, then quickly head towards the GM's. Pelinka's office. Pelinka is a quiet, middle-aged man. He often stands at the far end of the stands, watching the team's games in silence. No one ever knows what he's thinking. Now he sits behind his desk. Seeing you come in, he speaks up. Wang, your performance tonight surprised everyone. As you know, Schroeder is still out with an injury. Our backcourt is missing a scorer. Would you be willing to sign another 10-day contract with us? Pelinka is a master of words. He didn't say, we'd like to sign you. Instead, he said, would you be willing to sign with us? The meaning is similar, but the former puts the team on a higher pedestal, while the latter shows more respect for the player. You had already anticipated that your performance on the court would impress the Lakers management, but hearing the GM say it himself, you still feel a surge of joy. Thank you, GM. I don't see any reason to refuse. Being able to sign another 10-day contract already feels great to you. As for a guaranteed contract, the Lakers definitely won't offer you one right now. After all, in about a week, the Lakers' starting point guard, Schroeder, will be back. By then, the Lakers' backcourt will be crowded. So there's no way they'd give you a guaranteed deal, unless in the second 10-day period, you can put up another spectacular performance. Thinking about this, you're reminded of the system in your mind from earlier. You clench your fist secretly. Then you hear Pelinka continue. Then Pelinka continued. This second 10-day contract is $20,000. Hope that's satisfactory. You nodded immediately. Thanks, I'm very satisfied. 10-day contracts range from few thousand to tens of thousands based on past performance. Your last contract was only $8,000. This time it jumped straight to $20,000. It'll make life a little less tight. Coming out of the GM's office, guard Caruso was already waiting for you. You're currently crashing at his place. So after every home game, he waits for you. Wang, how'd it go? Guaranteed contract? You shook your head. Short contract. Caruso patted your shoulder. It's fine. As long as you keep playing like tonight, I'm sure it'll get converted to a guaranteed deal. You nodded. Without saying much, back at Caruso's place, after a simple dinner, you just laid down on the bed in the garage when that cold electronic voice echoed in your mind again. Legendary superstar system activated. Training mission issued. Make 1,000 three-pointers. Mission reward. Consistent three-point percentage raised to 45%. You didn't sleep a wink that night. Your mind was stuck on the system's words. Consistent three-point percentage raised to 45%. That reward was insane, because 45% shooting makes you an elite three-point shooter. Even someone like Curry, his career three-point percentage is under 45%. Across the entire history of the NBA, only Warriors head coach Kerr has shot over 45% for his career. You never imagined the system's first mission reward would be this crazy. If you ask what the Lakers need most right now, it's obviously a reliable three-point shooter. Pope, Kuzma, Schroeder, Tucker, they can all shoot threes, but their percentages are honestly pretty rough. In the small ball era, without consistent outside shooting, games become a struggle. So you can imagine, if you could raise your three-point percentage to 45%, that would be something absolutely terrifying. At 4 a.m., before dawn had even broken, you couldn't wait any longer and headed straight to the Lakers practice facility. The dozing security guard recognized you as the Lakers' newly signed 10-day contract player and waved you right in. He glanced out at the pitch-black sky and muttered to himself, these Eastern guys really work hard these days. At the gym, you turned on the lights, set up the shooting machine, and immediately started on the system's mission. The sound of three after three swishing through the net echoed through the gym. At 8 a.m., LeBron James walked into the gym. He looked genuinely surprised to see you. After exchanging greetings, you asked LeBron to tell the coach that today you wanted to focus purely on three-point shooting because the team currently lacks a consistent three-point threat. LeBron thought for a moment, then nodded. Disrupting the coach's practice plan. That's something you definitely couldn't do on your own. Only a superstar with absolute authority, like LeBron, could pull that off. But LeBron rarely abuses that kind of authority. Today, for you, he made an exception. At 10 o'clock, the rest of the team trickled in. Most of them had just woken up. Seeing you and LeBron already drenched in sweat, they were used to it by now. Everyone followed the coach's plan for the day's practice. You stayed in the corner, drilling threes the whole time. At 4 p.m., practice ended for the day. Players filed out one by one. You only had the last 11 makes left to finish the mission. LeBron hadn't left either. He stayed behind for extra work. Seeing you shooting threes like a madman, he realized you'd been at it all day, without even eating lunch. LeBron was stunned. He just stood there, watching you, with your energy nearly depleted. Those last 11 makes took you nearly 60 attempts. Finally, as the last three dropped through the net, that cold electronic voice rang out in your mind again. Mission complete. Consistent three-point percentage raised to 45%. You let out a long breath, then collapsed onto the floor, spread-eagled. LeBron and Caruso, who'd been waiting for you, both stayed quiet. No one said a word. After gasping for air for a full 2 minutes, you turned your head and grinned at them. Believe it or not, tomorrow night against the Clippers, you can trust me completely. LeBron and Caruso exchanged a glance. Remembering your 20% shooting in practice just now, they had no idea where your confidence came from. The next night, 8 p.m., the Lakers versus crosstown rival Clippers was about to tip off. Both teams were warming up. On the Clippers side, their guard, the Mad Dog, Patrick Beverley, volunteered to his coach. Coach, let me guard LeBron. Clippers coach Tyronn Lue didn't even hesitate. He nodded. LeBron's yours. Melto Beauties. Eyes lit up instantly, like a hound spotting its prey. Mad Dog Beverley may not be tall, but he has endless fight in him once he steps on the court. He hunts down the opponent's key player, like a relentless pit bull. Even someone like Kevin Durant has been shut down by him. In contrast, both got ejected. So Beverley is usually deployed to guard the opponent's top scorer. Of course, the Clippers' other defensive anchor is Kawhi Leonard with his death grip defense. But as the team's cornerstone, Leonard needs to conserve his energy. So under normal circumstances, Lue won't have him guard the opponent's primary scorer. Besides, in Lue's eyes, LeBron is past his prime now. No need to waste Leonard's death grip on him. Soon the game tipped off. You were still sitting at the very end of the bench. You kept one eye on the action on the court, while splitting some attention to head coach Vogel, afraid of missing any signal to put you in. The two teams are evenly matched, so this game is bound to be tight. In that situation, the coach almost certainly won't risk putting you in, but as a professional player, you have to be ready at all times. The game began. Both sides traded blows. The Lakers had a huge advantage in the paint, so they attacked inside. The Clippers' three-point shooting was lethal, so they played to their strength and rained threes. Meanwhile, across the ocean in the 10-cent NBA livestream, the guest commentator was renowned Chinese media figure Su Kun. The other host was Wang Ming, and there was also a hostess, Mena. Mena is a huge LeBron fan. Basically, whenever the Lakers play, she's the one hosting. Wang Ming threw out the first question. Last game, our Chinese player Wang Yi hit 9 threes in the final 5 minutes and dropped 28 points. Absolutely insane. Su Kun, do you think he'll play tonight? Su Kun flipped through the stats with a slight smile. His performance last game really stunned everyone. The Lakers already signed him to another 10-day contract, clearly valuing his three-point ability. But this game, the two teams are evenly matched, so it's likely to be very close. His chances of playing are probably slim. Wang Ming said, Coach Su's analysis makes a lot of sense, but we're still looking forward to seeing another explosive performance from him. In a live stream chat, fans were already flooding the comments, hoping Wang Yi would get some playing time. After Yao retired, I stopped paying attention to the NBA. Yesterday, I saw our guy drop 28 points in 5 minutes. I was absolutely stunned. Of course, the haters far outnumber the fans. That was just one game, and they didn't even win. If you can't win games, even if you drop 100 points, you're just a stat patter. Last game was just luck. No one was playing defense in garbage time. If someone actually guards him this game, let's see if he can still explode. Don't worry, it's not even certain he'll play this game. Back at the arena, you had no idea about any of this. And even if you did, you wouldn't have cared. Over the past 2 years, the abuse and slander from online trolls back home you've endured, was there ever a shortage? So your mentality had long been forged into something incredibly strong, completely immune to trash talk damage. On the court, Mad Dog Patrick Beverley was glued to LeBron, constantly spewing trash talk. His physical play aggressive. LeBron is getting older now, and his style leans more toward conserving energy. So in the first half, he usually doesn't attack much, mostly just facilitating from the top of the arc. Luckily, the Lakers' three-point shooting held up today. They went 5-4, 11 from 3 in the first half. At halftime, the gap was only 2 points, but in the third quarter, the game completely shifted. LeBron had planned to attack the paint in the third, looking to drive and kick. But the Lakers' three-point shooting fell back into its usual constipation mode. They clanked 3 straight threes. The Clippers, on the other hand, knocked down 4 straight threes. The deficit suddenly ballooned to 14 points. Coach Vogel quickly called a timeout, emphasizing defense against their threes. But just emphasizing defense isn't enough. The Lakers need to score themselves. But that wasn't happening. After the timeout, the Clippers drilled 2 more threes. And for the Lakers, since their threes weren't falling, the Clippers switched to a collapsing zone defense. LeBron couldn't drive either, so the Lakers could only look for opportunities on the perimeter. But it's always the same story. The more you press, the less they fall. With 6 minutes left in the third, the Lakers were down a full 20 points. Lakers coach Vogel, despite his tactical mind, was it a loss. Everyone knows the best way to beat a zone is to hit threes. But if you can't make them, it's a real problem. The whole Lakers team's mood started to sink. That's when Caruso remembered what you said yesterday. You can trust me completely. With that thought, he whispered something in LeBron's ear. LeBron's eyes lit up, and he looked across the ocean. When the Lakers fell behind by 20, in the Penguin NBA live studio, the two commentators started offering suggestions. Wang Yi spoke first. Coach Su, the Lakers are down 20 now. Look, Maina's about to cry. For the sake of a more exciting game, and to keep Maina from crying, can you give a Lakers some advice? Hearing Wang Ming's joking tone, Su-kun chuckled and said, the Lakers' problem right now is their threes aren't falling. Everyone knows you beat a zone with threes. The Lakers know it too. We all saw it. In the last few minutes, Caruso took 2, Kuzma 1, Tucker 1, and AD and LeBron each took 1. Combined, those 5 went 1, 4, 6 from 3. With shooting like that, against any other team, the game would have been over long ago. It's only because the Lakers' defense is solid that they're only down 20. So their main issue is still solving the three-point problem. In today's small ball era, if you can't shoot threes, it's tough against any team. Wang Ming nodded. Coach Su makes a good point. If Coach Vogel were a bit bolder, would giving our player Wang Yi a shot help? Su-kun said, that's up to Coach Vogel. Hopefully he doesn't do what he did last game, waiting until garbage time to put Wang Yi in. You saw Wang Yi's explosive performance last game. Why not try him before the game is completely out of reach? Fans in the chat were also saying, put him in, coach. Get him on the court now. Of course, the haters chimed in too. If the starters and the second unit can't fix it, you think a fringe player will? You guys are way too naive. I said it before, tell him to come back. Don't embarrass us. Looks like he's going to ride the bench all game. Impressive. Back at the arena, the Lakers called another timeout. LeBron walked over to Coach Vogel and said, Coach, why don't we? Before he could finish, Vogel nodded. Let him try. Vogel is actually a coach who's bold with his rotations. He'd already thought about putting you in, but he saw LeBron talking with you, so he didn't bring it up himself. Instead, he waited for LeBron to suggest it. LeBron is the team's leader. If he makes the call, the players will respect him more. It helps LeBron unite the team. And he also knew that by doing this, LeBron would have a better opinion of him. When dealing with a superstar like LeBron, whether they follow the coach's game plan is crucial to the team's success. Clearly, Vogel's emotional intelligence is far from low. He waved his hand and called out Wang. You were already ready to go in. Like a coiled spring, you shot to your feet instantly, jogged over to the coach. Vogel said, LeBron suggested putting you in. Don't let us down. Your heart immediately burned with determination. You nodded firmly, don't worry. At that moment, a cold, electronic voice sounded. Court check-in successful. Congratulations. You've received a basic death grip experience card. Hearing this, you were overjoyed. 45% three-point shooting, and with the death grip card active, doesn't that mean in this game you become a top-tier 3 and D player? And that's exactly what the Lakers need most right now. With that thought, you spoke up. Coach, when I get in, let me guard Kawhi. It was Kawhi's relentless drives that forced the Lakers to collapse their defense, which opened up all those three-point looks for the Clippers. If someone could stop Kawhi's drives, then the Clippers' three-point chances would drop significantly. Coach Vogel was a bit surprised, because from what he knew, your physical tools were average, your lateral quickness wasn't the fastest, and your defense was just average. And now you were volunteering to guard the robot, Kawhi Leonard. Your gaze was firm, and you said directly, Coach, just give me 2 possessions. If I can't stop him, put someone else in. Your unspoken thought was, they've already cycled through almost everyone on Kawhi, and none of them could do it. So why not? Let me give a shot. But saying something like that could hurt team chemistry. So of course you couldn't say it out loud. Of course, you can't say that out loud. The coach has to figure that out for himself. Vogel thought for a moment and understood your meaning. He nodded and said, all right, I'll give you 3 possessions. You nodded firmly. Your fists clenched tight. Your gaze locked onto Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers' side. Like a wolf eyeing a mechanical sheep. The timeout ended. You stepped onto the court with the Lakers. The commentator couldn't help but say, the Eastern player who hit 9 threes in 5 minutes last game is on the floor. Let's see if he can work his magic again tonight. It's a Lakers home game today. The Staples Center fans erupted in cheers, though the cheering crowd wasn't exactly huge. First, the team was down by too much. Second, a fringe player who'd only been here for a little over 10 days. Many people still didn't know him. In the Penguin NBA live stream room, the haters saw you step on the court. and came crawling out of the woodwork. Oh, he's actually playing? Out here to embarrass himself again, huh? The Lakers had the ball now. After bringing it up the court, LeBron held the ball at the top of the arc. The Clippers were still in their zone defense. LeBron scanned the Lakers on the floor. His eyes finally landed on you. Wang, he called out. He passed you the ball. You caught it without a moment's hesitation. Bend the knees, raise the ball, jump, flick the wrist, release. The ball arced through the air in a perfect rainbow trajectory, swishing cleanly through the net. The crisp sound of ball meeting net echoed through the arena speakers. The Lakers' arena DJ immediately announced in a booming voice, "Three-pointer, Wang Yi." You listened to that drawn-out, slightly off pronunciation and close your eyes briefly, savoring the moment. LeBron came over and slapped your hand. "Enjoy it, bro." Caruso walked over too. "What you said yesterday was real." Clippers head coach Tyronn Lue saw your three, but didn't think much of it. It was just 1-3. None of the Clippers players paid it any mind either. Of course, they'd done their homework on the opponent. They knew you'd hit 9 threes in 5 minutes. Last game. But a performance like that, even having it happen once in a lifetime, is an incredible stroke of luck. Like T-Mac's 13 points in 35 seconds. The Clippers knew there was no way you could be that unstoppable 2 games in a row. So Coach Lue didn't make any adjustments. Clippers turn on offense. You matched up directly against Clippers star Kawhi Leonard with your physical tools. Locking down the long-armed, tall Leonard was basically impossible. So you immediately activated the Death Stare experience card. The next moment, you felt your foot speed quicken, just a hair. Your lateral movement was a step faster too. Meanwhile, Patrick Beverley brought the ball past half court and passed it to Leonard. You got into position quickly. Feet spread wide. You set up in front of Leonard. The commentator saw this and couldn't hide his surprise. What? This Eastern player is guarding Leonard one-on-one? Am I seeing this right? He's half a head shorter than Leonard. He gives up way too much weight. Putting him on Leonard, he's going to get shredded. What is Vogel thinking? In the Penguin NBA live stream room, the trolls in the chat saw this and immediately lit up. He's asking for a beating. He's guarding the robot? No way. Guy hits one lucky 3 and now he's full of himself. He actually thinks he can stop Leonard. With Wang Yi's height, Leonard can shoot right over him. Either pull up or just bully his way to the rim. He'd probably run him over. On the court, Leonard didn't choose to pull up. Pull-ups weren't his preferred scoring method. His favorite was driving halfway and pulling up for a mid-range jumper. He quickly put the ball down with his right hand, planning to drive to his right. You read the dip of his shoulder and anticipated the move. You slid your feet laterally and cut off his driving lane. Leonard saw the lane closed, so he pivoted on his left foot for a reverse spin, trying to drive left instead. But just as he spun and pulled the ball through, the instant it hit the floor, a hand shot out silently, picking the ball out of the air. Leonard's dribble was gone. You stripped him clean. At the same time, a figure was already sprinting toward the other end. You looked up and saw it was LeBron. You whipped the ball down the court with your left hand. LeBron caught it, took one dribble, and rose up in 3 steps. Bang! A signature férocieux. Tomahawk slam that instantly ignited the arena. The camera cut to LeBron, replaying the dunk over and over again. But few people noticed that before that dunk, it was your steal and your assist. LeBron, however, wouldn't forget. He came back down the court and slapped your hand. He shouted excitedly, "Bro, beautiful." Clippers Leonard also turned his head to look at you. It seemed like just a casual glance. No real fire in his eyes. But every superstar has pride. You got me once. I'm getting it back on your head. Beverly knew this too. After bringing the ball up, he looked to get the ball to Leonard. You knew that was coming. So you played front defense, denying Leonard the ball entirely. Beverly couldn't get it to Leonard, so he had to pass it to Paul George on the other wing. PG faced Anthony Davis's defense and missed a tough shot. Back the other way. Lakers offense. Clippers still in their zone. You moved actively off the ball, spotting up beyond the arc in the left corner. Playing with LeBron James makes things a lot simpler. As a 3-point shooter, all you have to do is stand beyond the arc, and the ball will find you. Sure enough, LeBron faked a drive, collapsing the defense, then kicked it out to you in the corner. PG had already closed out on you. PG, the professional background prop, 2 decades of being the backdrop. He has years of experience getting buzzer beaten. Buzzer beaten by LeBron, by Lillard, by Wade, by Booker, twice by Butler. The guys who've hit game winners on him could circle the earth 5 times. Of course, that's also because his defense is so good. He's usually the one guarding the opponent's final shot. But right now, You faced PG charging at you without a hint of hesitation. You shot with pure conviction. Swish. Three-pointer. Another clean swish. They were down 20 just a moment ago. In less than a minute, they'd cut it by 8. Only a 12-point game now. The crowd erupted. Clippers head coach immediately called a timeout. In the Penguin NBA live stream room, Wang Yi exclaimed in surprise. 2 threes in under a minute. Is Wang Yi about to replicate last game's miracle? Sukun, however, was more rational. He analyzed, a performance like that, once in a lifetime, is already lucky enough. It's basically impossible to see it happen twice. But if Wang Yi's three-point percentage keeps, being able to maintain such a high level of play is truly a godsend for the Lakers. During the timeout, the Clippers head coach pointed at you from across the court and said to Patrick Beverley, the Mad Dog, when you get back in there, bite him to death for me. In American culture, dog is not a derogatory term. It represents loyalty. And the nickname Mad Dog isn't derogatory either. It refers to Beverley's almost insane fighting spirit and his unwavering loyalty to the team. When it comes to the game, he's always hungry. So for this nickname, Beverley actually appreciates it. Don't worry, coach. I'll bite him to death. The timeout ends, and the game continues. When Kawhi Leonard has the ball, you continue to give him the death stare defense. This time, their coach had made adjustments. Leonard, using a screen, finally manages to catch the ball. But the moment he receives it, a ghostly hand slaps the ball. Smack! The ball hits the floor instantly. Leonard quickly dives for it, but you've already lunged forward in a dive. Seeing Anthony Davis already sprinting toward the front court, you flick the ball with your left hand, and it races toward Davis in the front court. Davis catches it and throws down another monstrous dunk. The crowd erupts once again. The commentators in the booth exclaim in surprise. AD's dunk was great. I love that dunk. But we can't ignore Wang's defense anymore. He stopped Leonard 3 possessions in a row now. Shutting down Leonard 3 straight times is definitely a rarity in this league. Clearly, we all underestimated Wang's defense before. Great three-point shooting. Great defense, too. A classic 3-and-D player. This is exactly what the Lakers need right now. With LeBron and AD on the floor, the role players' jobs become simple. Defense and three-pointers. And those are precisely the 2 things Wang Yi possesses right now. He's a perfect fit with the Lakers' 2 stars. The Lakers should really consider giving him a guaranteed contract. At that moment on the court, you hear the commentators' voices, and a faint, knowing smile curls at the corner of your mouth. 3-and-D player? Your ambitions go far beyond that. The deficit is now down to 10 points. Lakers possession. After LeBron brings the ball up the court, he again fakes a drive, collapsing the defense, while looking for you. But this time, the Clippers were ready. They use a 4-man zone to guard the paint, while the remaining player, Beverley, is tasked with guarding you specifically. Beverley presses up against you tightly, using his body, while talking trash. Hey, Eastoner, you just hit 2 threes. Think you're pretty hot stuff? That's only because I wasn't guarding you. Try that now, if you can. Oh, sorry. With me on you, you won't even get the ball. You know what Beverley is capable of. This guy will constantly battle you physically, while running his mouth, to get under your skin. Once you lose your cool, he's won. So you won't get angry. And you won't let Beverley just cling to you like that either. You proactively run off a screen from Davis. As a quality 3-and-D player, you can't just wait passively beyond the arc. You have to actively use screens to create space, so the ball can find you. Sure enough, you create separation, and LeBron's pass arrives right on time. You catch the ball beyond the 3-point line. Beverley quickly fights through Davis's screen and lunges toward you. Of course, he can't block your shot at this point, but as he lunges at you, his right hand swings hard toward your face. Your heart tightens slightly. Even though you still get the shot off, your focus wavered, and the ball clanks off the rim. As for Beverley, his hand stops just 2 inches from your face, and he pulls it back abruptly, without any contact. You furrow your brow. Beverley has always played dirty, so you instinctively assumed he was actually going to slap you in the face. A slap to the face would have been one thing, but what if he pulled a Draymond and poked your eye or kicked you in the nuts? That would have been rough. Seems your mental fortitude still isn't rock solid, but a fall into a ditch, a gain in your wit. You won't fall for the same trick twice, in the same drainage ditch. Meanwhile, in the Penguin NBA live stream, the 2 commentators chime in. Well, the magic is gone. Right, but this looks more like a normal player's shooting percentage. Yeah, if he made every single shot, that would be terrifying. In a live chat, the haters see you miss a shot and immediately come out to play, finally showing his true colors. His luck is running out. He shot well before, only because they weren't playing him physically. Look now, Beverly gets physical with him, and he immediately falls apart. His body is just too weak, no words for it. The mad dog just bared his fangs. He hasn't even started biting yet, and he's already down. Get back here quick. You're embarrassing all Chinese people. Back on the court. After missing that shot, you don't feel discouraged in the slightest. A 45% shooter can't make every single shot. On the other end, you face Leonard's offense again. This time, Leonard uses a screen from their center, Ivica Zubac, and finally shakes free from your defense, hitting a mid-range jumper. The lead is back to 12. As you're inbounding the ball, LeBron says as he catches it, "Wang, you still got the guts to shoot?" A confident smile spreads across your face. As long as you've got the guts to pass it. LeBron doesn't know where your confidence comes from. Your performance tonight is clearly not as explosive as last game, yet you remain just as confident. Could it be because of yesterday's practice? LeBron thinks to himself as he dribbles up the court. You've already run off Davis's screen and positioned yourself beyond the arc on the left wing at 45 degrees. At this moment, your back is to the basket. Behind you, Beverly, true to his Mad Dog nickname, fights through the screen. In hot pursuit, LeBron's pass is already in the air. You catch the ball, and with your back still to the basket, you suddenly leap. In midair, you spin around, leaning back. Your right foot extends slightly forward to maintain balance. Your left arm rises, wrist flicking. This shot isn't a beautiful arc, but a very flat trajectory. The ball travels at high speed, like a high-velocity cannonball, and slams through the net with a bang. Beverly, who thought you'd at least turn around before jumping after catching the ball, never imagined you'd leap with your back to the basket and turn only in midair. He had no time to contest and only heard the bang behind him. The arena DJ's voice booms out. Three-pointer from Wang Yi. Hearing this strange, unfamiliar Easter name, Beverly clenches his fist and mutters a curse. Shit. Then he continues to talk trash. Easterner, you got lucky, but you won't be so lucky next time. You smile confidently and completely ignore his trash talk. Beverly, however, feels a flicker of anger. He's guarded many stars. Usually when he talks trash to them, keep provoking them with more moves. They'll react. Their fouls will get even harder. That only helps the Clippers. But this Easterner is different. He's been trash-talking nonstop, and the guy isn't mad at all. Instead, he flashes a dismissive smirk. It feels like a bratty kid, testing an adult's limits. But the adult just smiles faintly, because in his eyes, it's just a bratty kid. Gotta say, Beverly's defense is fierce, and his imagination is top-notch too. Coming back down, he brings the ball up, looking for Kawhi. This time, the Easterner isn't glued to Kawhi. He's a full step off him, and his eyes keep darting to Paul George. Beverly figures you're trying to cut off the pass to PG, so he relaxes and fires the ball to Kawhi. But right then, you explode like a cheetah, picking the pass off in midair. Your earlier glance at PG was just a decoy to fool the ball handler, making Beverly think you were distracted. In reality, you never took your eyes off Kawhi. After the steal, you push the ball up with your left hand, and right behind you, a shadow is already closing in. That shadow is the mad dog, Beverly. He's chasing you down like a rabid dog. Your right hand is hurt, so you can only dribble left-handed. You're naturally a bit slower than usual. By the time you cross half court, Beverly has caught up. He's swiping at the ball from the side, all while yapping in your ear. You're not getting another thing past me. You glance sideways. Caruso has trailed the play. It's a perfect 2-on-1 opportunity, but with the physical pressure, a one-handed pass is risky, so you make a decision. Forget it. No pass. As you dribble to the three-point line, you suddenly stop on a dime and rise up. Mad Dog Beverly can't react in time and gets juked 5 feet away. You raise your arm, flick your wrist, and shoot. The whole motion is as smooth as silk. The ball leaves your fingertips, spinning backward toward the rim. Swish. Another clean 3. The lead is down to 6. The nearly 20,000 fans in the arena erupt in a deafening roar. You soak in a wave of sound, your heart racing with the moment. You turn to look at. His brow is furrowed deep. Beverly is staring at you too. This Easterner feels like a stranger to him. It's not like he's never played against yellow skin. In his experience, they're not that fast, not that explosive, and play a softer game. He never bothered guarding guys like that. But how is this Easterner so good? 3 after 3. Each one stabbing into the defense's heart. Clippers head coach Tyronn Lue quickly calls another timeout. From the last timeout to this one, only 2 minutes have passed. but the lead has shrunk from 12 to 6. This is the Lakers' home floor. If they tie it up, the Lakers will gain huge momentum, and coming back will be a nightmare. As the Clippers huddle up, Lou points at you from across the court and tells Kawhi, "You guard him." Beverly hears this and can't hide his disappointment. That Easterner had fired him up, and he was itching to go with the number one. But now the coach doesn't trust his defense. Then again, it makes sense. Under his watch, that guy hit 2 more threes and added 2 steals. In those 2 minutes, he got completely torched. If he were the coach, he'd switch defenders too. Kawhi glances over from a distance, says nothing, and just nods. He's always been a man of few words. Kawhi is just over 2 meters tall, but his wingspan is a terrifying 2.21 meters. Add those alien-sized hands, and when he guards you, it's a nightmare. If you dribble, those long arms and hands will likely poke the ball away. That's why his defense is called the death grip. Many of the league's best scorers have been burned by Kawhi. Even LeBron has been driven crazy by his defense. So whenever an opponent gets hot, Kawhi is usually the one to shut them down. On the Lakers side, head coach Korver is going over the next steps with the team. We hit a few threes, but that doesn't mean our shooting is open. Only Wang Yi's shot is falling. So they'll still run a 4-man zone, and they'll still have one guy chasing Wang. So Wang, you can't stop moving. You nod. I'll use screens to get open. Korver nods back at you. Screens don't have to be from your teammates. You can cut right through their 4-man zone and lose your defender that way. Your eyes light up. So I can use their own players as screens. Korver smiles and nods. Exactly. That'll throw their defense into chaos. And when their defense is in chaos, our opportunity comes. LeBron pats you on the shoulder. Bro, whether we come back is on you. AD also gives you a pat on the butt, encouraging you. Hope you can lead us to the win. Meanwhile, Tucker, who you subbed out for, looks a little down. If you keep playing this well, your spot in the rotation might be taken by him. But he knows that's just the cruelty of competitive sports. Play well, and you get all the love. Play bad, and no one wants you. Soon, the timeout ends. Clippers ball. You continue to apply the death grip on Kawhi. This time, the Clippers. PG steps up and hits a 2. The lead is back to 8. Lakers ball. The Clippers are indeed still in a 4-man zone. Kawhi is locked onto you, denying you the ball. The announcer on the floor catches on quickly. Look at this. Kawhi is guarding Wang now. A 10-day contract guy getting guarded by Kawhi is already an honor. The question is under Kawhi's defense. Can he keep hitting those threes? Hard to say. Kawhi is taller than Beverly and stronger too. Hitting threes over him is going to be a challenge. Across the ocean, on the 10-cent NBA live stream chat, the haters who were scared off by your play are suddenly back in full force. Before, it was just because Beverly was too short. Now with Kawhi on him, this guy's in trouble. The death grip is no joke. If he hits 2 threes over Kawhi, I'll eat my own shoe on stream. The guy who ran away earlier, shoe guy, pops back up at Staples Center. The game continues. Kawhi, like a robot, is locked onto you, giving you no room to catch the ball. His long arms and huge hands are waving in your face, like a small tree, making it impossible to get open. This is the terror of the death grip. You spin and dart toward the paint. Kawhi, of course, stuck to you like glue, following you into the paint. You ran into the Clippers' zone defense in the paint, slipped past their power forward, then quickly sprinted to the left corner beyond the 3-point line to catch the ball. Kawhi is bigger than you. He tried to get around his teammate, but naturally, he wasn't as agile as you. His teammate couldn't clear the path for him either, because if he did, their zone defense formation would fall apart. Watching you already sprinting beyond the 3-point line, Kawhi quickly shoved his teammate aside and chased you out to the 3-point line. But by now, you had an open lane. You caught the pass from Caruso and immediately raised your arms. Kawhi was still 3 meters away, seeing you about to shoot. He leaped high into the air, like a giant bird swooping down on you. You had to admit, his height, his vertical, his wingspan, that talent was absolutely elite. Even from 3 meters away, leaping like that, he could completely cover you, making it impossible for you to get a shot off. But you weren't stupid. That was just a shot fake. After Kawhi, like a giant bird, flew right over your head, you calmly rose up and shot the 3. Swish. 3-pointer good. The deficit was down to 5 points. The crowd erupted once again. The big screen cut to you, who had just nailed the 3. The arena DJ's booming voice echoed throughout the entire arena once more. 3-pointer from Wang Yi. Back on the other end. Clippers possession. You were still glued to Kawhi. After Kawhi caught the ball, seeing you still all over him, he turned his body and dribbled once, using his body to bump you off, planning to force up a mid-range jumper. But with a Death Rap experience card boost, your reactions were lightning fast. After getting bumped off, you quickly stepped right back in. Kawhi had only just raised the ball. He hadn't even jumped yet. You wound up your left arm. A massive block. Right in his face. You swatted Kawhi's shot cleanly. Caruso on the left reacted quickest, grabbed the ball first, and pushed it quickly up the court. You followed right behind, heading straight for the three-point corner. PG had already caught up. Caruso couldn't just lay it up. He spotted you in the left corner and immediately whipped the ball to you. You caught it and prepared to jump, but Beverly had also chased back, so you used the shot fake again. Beverly bid on it completely, flying right past you. But by then, Kawhi had also caught up. You gave another shot fake. Kawhi was fooled as well. But if you shot now, Beverly, recovering, would definitely block it. So you took a big dribble to the right, avoiding Beverly's outstretched fingers. You rose up, flicked your wrist, and shot. Swish. Another three-pointer. The deficit was down to just 2 points. And how spectacular that play was. You could tell from the crowd's roar and cheers. Beautiful. So cool. He actually blocked Kawhi, then came back and fooled both Beverly and Kawhi, and hit the three. Two-way play. This is exactly the 3 and D player the Lakers need. Now I'm starting to wonder who the real Death Rap is. Kawhi or Wang. The Jumbotron kept replaying your entire sequence from defense to offense. The commentators kept exclaiming in surprise, Wang. He's definitely the Lakers' biggest find this year. That play by Wang. Two-way excellence. Absolutely a joy to watch. I don't understand. How was a player like this overlooked before? The other commentator spoke the truth. Because he's Eastern, he couldn't get a real chance from certain coaches. Of course, on this topic, the two commentators wouldn't say too much, just a passing remark. Meanwhile, in the Penguins' NBA live stream, the two commentators were also quite pleased. Wang Meng said, Wang Yi's threes today aren't as explosive as last game, but the two-way play he's shown really highlights his value. Sukunarith. Right, if I remember correctly. Since he started guarding Kawhi, Kawhi hasn't scored a single point. Look at his defense. Staying glued to his man at all times, not even letting him catch the ball, even though he's not as tall as Kawhi, and his wingspan isn't as long, but his intensity is enough to be called Death Rap. At this moment, in a live chat, fans were also speaking up. Weren't people saying Kawhi was going to destroy Wang Yi? How about now? Yeah, where did all those haters go? Come out and show yourselves. Hey, Xiangge, you still watching? After today's game, you're probably going to be stuffed full, but the haters had already gone quiet. That's how haters are. When you play badly, they'll tear you apart. When you play well, they all pull their heads back in and hide in their shells. Staples Center. You were guarding Kawhi again. This time, with his teammates' help, Kawhi finally managed an alley-oop dunk. The lead was back to 4 points. Your vertical is average, and you're 10 centimeters shorter than Kawhi. There was really nothing you could do on that one. Back on the other end. Lakers possession. You ran into the Clippers' paint again, weaving around their 4 interior players. Kawhi is great at defending the ball handler, but he rarely guards someone like you, constantly moving off the ball. Eventually, you completely tangled up the Clippers' interior defense. Then you quickly sprinted back out to the perimeter. Kawhi had been burned last time. This time he chased you with everything he had, but you ran around LeBron's screen. LeBron handed the ball off to you. You caught it beyond the arc and rose up to shoot immediately. As Kawhi squeezed past LeBron, he stumbled and bumped into your side. But by then, with your immense confidence, your release was incredibly quick. Your motion wasn't even complete. The ball was already in the air. At the same time, the referee's whistle blew, and your shot had already swished through the net for 3. The referee signaled, foul on Kawhi. Your three-pointer still counted, and you get 1 free throw. You made the free throw too. The score was suddenly tied at 86-86, completely even. The Lakers had gone from trailing by 20 to tying the game in just half a quarter. That pace of comeback was absolutely terrifying, and everyone could see it all stemmed from your death. Rap defense shutting down the Clippers' go-to guy, and your steals and multiple threes had opened things up for the Lakers. The decibel level in the arena had hit its peak. 20,000 fans were cheering nonstop. For a moment, the Lakers' momentum was at an all-time high. You looked up at Kawhi. Kawhi, as always, was expressionless. He was like an emotionless robot. Meanwhile, Clippers coach Tyronn Lue, seeing the 20-point lead evaporate in an instant, was starting to get anxious. But he didn't call another timeout. In the last 5 minutes, he'd already used 2 timeouts. If he kept burning through them, He'd have none left for crunch time in the fourth. So all he could do was shout from the sideline, "Leonard, George, you too." They both turned to look at him. Coach Tyronn Lue said nothing. He just stared at them with deep, meaningful eyes. The two understood exactly what he meant. Figure out yourselves. This was Tyronn Lue's trademark coaching style. Back when he coached LeBron in Cleveland. Internal problems? Ask LeBron. External problems? Ask LeBron. Once, in the fourth quarter, LeBron was completely gassed, exhausted to the point of near collapse. Lue called 2 straight timeouts, not to draw up a play, but just to let LeBron catch his breath. Only he would pull off a move like that. So now, facing your sudden defensive intensity and three-point shooting, he was genuinely puzzled. All he could do was ask his 2 stars, but those 2 could go one-on-one all day. When it came to solving problems in a pinch, they came up short, left with no other option. He turned his attention to Rondo. Rondo had been around the league for years. He was a wily veteran, loaded with experience, and his basketball IQ was off the charts. The time he directed Cousins to guard that alone showed you his mind for the game. Calling Rondo a coach on the floor was no exaggeration. During a dead ball moment, Lue pulled him aside. "Whether we win this game or not is all on you." Rondo took the responsibility without hesitation. He didn't say a word, just nodded and headed back onto the court. Over the next few minutes, with Rondo running the show, the Clippers' offense started to click. On the Lakers' side, your threes had broken their zone defense, and the lead traded back and forth. By the end of the third quarter, the gap was just 2 points. During the break, almost every Laker came over to high-five you. Your heart swelled a little. 2 years bouncing around the NBA, and you'd never seen anything like this. Those guys wouldn't even high-five you back then. Some wouldn't even look you in the eye. Now, just 2 games in, nearly every player on the team was coming to you for a high-five. How could that not stir something in you? You glanced over at the Clippers bench, your gaze landing on Leonard. You hoped that one day, the death clamp wouldn't just be a system boost. It would be a skill you owned outright. Soon, the fourth quarter began. The Lakers sat LeBron to rest, and you stayed on the bench too. It might have only been 8 minutes of play, but had drained you. On defense, you were using the death clamp on the robot, Kawhi Leonard. On offense, you were constantly moving, fighting through screens and launching threes. Even Ironwood were down under that kind of load. So the coach kept you on the bench for now. Coach Vogel also had his own plan in mind. From what he'd seen, over these 2 games, you'd proven yourself to be a quality 3 and D player. That type of player is perfect next to LeBron. So he planned to put you in at the same time as LeBron. Without LeBron, AD was holding the fort with a bunch of bench players. But with Coach Rondo directing traffic, the Clippers' offense was smooth. The Lakers' bench, meanwhile, kept up their bricklaying ways. Finally, with 8 minutes left in the fourth, the Clippers stretched the lead to 9. And then the worst possible thing happened. After a block, AD suddenly grabbed his groin area, limping badly. Everyone's heart jumped into their throat. The entire arena went silent. The team trainer rushed over and helped AD stretch his left leg. A moment later, he helped AD to the locker room. Word came back quickly. AD would not return for the rest of the game. LeBron's expression turned grim. He walked over to Vogel, a hint of resolve in his voice. "Coach, I'm going in." By the normal rotation, this was supposed to be his rest time, but he couldn't rest anymore. It was just a regular season game, but these 2 teams were crosstown rivals, and the Clippers were the Lakers' biggest hypothetical threat in the West come playoff time. So he had to win this game. AD injured, LeBron asking to go back in. Coach Vogel weighed the options and finally nodded. "Okay." Then his gaze fell on you, sitting nearby. "Wang, time for you to shine. In this game, you had the hottest three-point hand. So of course LeBron needed you out there with him." Vogel also turned to Drummond. "Dre, crash the boards, especially offensive rebounds." Drummond nodded. Since joining the Lakers, he'd often been a ghost, only occasionally showing up as the real Drummond. So he was desperate to prove himself too. Normally, he and LeBron didn't mesh. LeBron's game needs 4 shooters around him to space the floor. But Drummond has no mid-range or three-point game, so he can't provide that spacing. But this game was different. Your outside shooting could be trusted. If they packed the paint, you could make them pay from deep. And if they chased you out, LeBron would have lanes to drive. Soon, the 3 of them were checked in. The Lakers' 5 on the floor were LeBron, Drummond, Caruso, KCP, and you. Aside from Drummond's lack of foot speed, this lineup had almost no defensive weaknesses. Play resumed. Lakers ball. You kept moving off the ball, hunting for an open look. Your defender was now Paul George. PG's defense is elite too. They call him the ultimate highlight reel victim. But that just proves how good his defense is. You don't get put on posters guarding scrubs. Drummond is a big body, so he sets solid screens. You came off his screen, briefly shaking Paul George. LeBron's court vision is elite. He saw you pop free and fired the pass immediately. You caught it on the left wing at 45 degrees. No hesitation, no adjustment. Straight up and release. It banked in for 3. The lead was down to 6. The game continued. Back on defense. You clamped onto Leonard again. On the other side, LeBron was locking up Paul George. LeBron might be older now, unable to sustain it for long stretches. But in the key moments, the defensive pressure he brought was still terrifying. Caruso was hounding Rondo. Rondo drove and looked to kick it out, saw PG smothered, and Leonard wrapped up. So he had to swing it to Beverly on the other side. Beverly tried to shoot, but KCP closed out hard, and he thought better of it. He dribbled and passed it back to Rondo. Rondo tried to reset the offense, but with everyone locked up, he was forced to hoist a desperation 3 as the shot clock expired. Clank. Iron. Lakers ball again. LeBron grabbed the rebound and immediately fired it ahead to KCP, who was leaking out. LeBron grabs the rebound and immediately fires it to KCP, who's already sprinting ahead on the fast break. Pope throws down the dunk. The deficit is cut to 4 points. Over the next minute plus, the Lakers' intense defense held the Clippers scoreless. The Lakers then scored on 2 fast breaks, plus a LeBron free throw and a 3 from you, tying the game once again. The Clippers were forced to call a timeout. The atmosphere in the arena peaked once more. As LeBron came off the court, he gave you a hard high five. In the Penguin NBA livestream chat, most of the haters had already vanished. The earlier troll Xianggo was long gone, with only a few haters clinging to odd points. Still talking tough. Shooting left-handed just looks so awkward. I think he's just a stat patter. The NBA is a place for showing off personality, and he still has such a plain haircut. So damn lame. Staples Center. After the timeout, back on the court, the Clippers have the ball. You're still guarding Kawhi. Your death clamp experience has expired, so you've made up your mind. Play relentless defense. When Kawhi tries to get the ball, you keep fronting him, disrupting the pass, while constantly battling him physically, even though you're at a physical disadvantage. Constantly applying that pressure drains Kawhi's energy significantly. And when Kawhi has the ball, you keep bothering him, making both his catches and dribbles extremely uncomfortable. When catching and dribbling feel off, he loses his rhythm. And once he loses rhythm, his shooting percentage drops. Sure enough, over the next few minutes, Kawhi goes 1 for 4 on mid-range shots, and 0 for 1 from 3. As for PG, LeBron holds him to 1 for 3. On the Lakers side, your energy is heavily drained, and your shots aren't as accurate as before. But even so, during this stretch, you still hit 2 of 4 from 3. With that give and take, the Lakers had built a 5-point lead. But then, the Clippers' shooters started heating up, hitting threes in succession. Even Coach Rondo knocked one down. In the end, the game's suspense lasted until the final 28 seconds, 115 to 117. Clippers lead by 2. Lakers ball. At this moment, whether it's the live crowd, viewers on TV, or fans on their phones and computers, everyone's hearts are racing, palms sweating. Nearly everyone in the arena is standing. Many female fans clasp their hands to their chests, heads bowed in silent prayer. On the big screen, the cameras keep cutting to LeBron and you. This next possession is crucial. LeBron is the team's leader, and the team's brain, the engine of the offense. It makes sense for him to take the shot, but your three-point shooting tonight is terrifying. 8, 4, 12 from beyond the arc. Giving it to you doesn't seem like a bad option either. What should they choose? The tension in the arena is thick. Even the cheerleader performance during the timeout goes completely unnoticed. Even some of the Lakers players are starting to get nervous. A few on the bench are gripping their hands tightly, praying silently. Caruso keeps wiping sweat with a towel. McGee is chugging water, but at this moment, you're not nervous at all. Your eyes are shining. Your blood boiling. Your energy was heavily drained before, but with that surging fire inside you, you don't feel tired at all. To be part of a battle like this, your only feeling is pure adrenaline. It's an innate trait of yours. Since you were a kid, the tighter and fiercer the game, the more excited you get. You love competition, and you crave it. It's something you were born with. Coach Vogel notices your excitement. He's quite surprised, because he rarely sees players who get more fired up in tighter games. And players like that often perform best in the most critical moments. He can't help but ask, Juan, if I give you the shot, how do you feel about it? The Lakers players are taken aback. Sure, you played great tonight, but a clutch shot like this, given to a 10-day contract player, can he handle the pressure? Everyone knows the more critical the moment, the greater the mental pressure on the player. Under that weight, is his three still that reliable? Forget 10-day contract guys. Even many starters on other teams wouldn't dare take that shot in crunch time. So that kind of shot goes to the franchise star. The coach asking you this now is truly unexpected. But you, hearing the question, don't hesitate for even a second and answer without a moment's pause. I think it's great. Hearing your response. Some players are even more stunned. Where does a 10-day contract player get that kind of confidence? You obviously can't explain that. You get more excited in clutch moments. So you just say, I'm just a 10-day contract player. If I make it, people will say I'm cool, and the praise will come rolling in. If I miss, everyone will just blame the guy who passed it to me. Why would you give such a critical shot to a 10-day contract player? So the pressure's on you, not me. Your words leave everyone speechless. Then they all burst out laughing. In such a tense moment, your comment definitely eases the tension. But then LeBron speaks up. Wang, don't run any plays this time. I'll set up in the left corner beyond the arc. I'll drive into the paint with the ball. The Clippers will think, I won't pass you the ball in a clutch moment. So they'll collapse on me in the paint. That's when I'll kick it out to you. You nod excitedly. Okay, just one word. But everyone can feel the hunger for battle in it. Back on the court. Lakers inbound. LeBron brings the ball up the court. Down by only 2. They can go for a 2. Or a 3. Following LeBron's instructions, you stay in the corner, not moving. The Clippers head coach sees this and breathes a slight sigh of relief. Of course, Vogel wouldn't give this critical shot to a 10-day contract player, or maybe that 10-day guy can't handle the pressure and doesn't even dare to shoot, so he's not running any plays. With that thought, he shouts to PG, who's guarding you. Watch for the help on the inside. Watch the paint. LeBron's 3 hasn't been falling tonight. Knowing LeBron as he does, he's 100% driving hard to the rim. PG nods. He's been beaten by a LeBron buzzer beater before. This time, no matter what, he can't let LeBron hit another clutch shot. Guarding LeBron now is the robot Kawhi. LeBron crosses over, creating half a step of separation from Kawhi, then uses his body to bump him off. He drives into the paint, and the Clippers collapse on him as expected. He drives hard to the paint. 2 defenders are already waiting for LeBron inside, but PG isn't comfortable. He still sprints over to help. Just as PG lunges toward LeBron, LeBron delivers a pinpoint pass. It sails over PG's shoulder, right to you. PG's heart sinks. He spins and charges back at you, but it's too late. When you catch it, PG is a full 4 meters away. You catch and shoot. Not a single moment of hesitation. The ball arcs high into the air, falling toward the rim. Every eye in the building is fixed on that orange basketball. Clippers players and fans alike feel a knot in their stomachs. Your 3-point shooting tonight has been terrifying. At this crucial moment, this crucial shot, they can't help but hold their breath. Under the gaze of nearly 20,000 fans, the ball finally descends upon the rim. Clang! A heavy thud echoes. It hits the front of the rim and bounces high. The nearly 20,000 fans in attendance let out a collective groan of disappointment. The Clippers coach in there. Fans all breathe a sigh of relief. Looks like this Lakers #1 just doesn't have the mental fortitude, after all. In such a critical moment, he couldn't knock it down. This might be the most important shot of the entire game. Every Lakers fan watching is cursing under their breath. Why would you pass it to this 10-day contract player? The commentator on the floor, speaking rapidly, exclaims with emotion, "Oh no, why pass it to Wang?" Undeniably, Wang has played exceptionally well tonight. But in his career, he has never played a single second in crunch time. He simply can't handle this immense psychological pressure. LeBron, that was a terrible pass choice. Wonder if LeBron will regret that one. In the 10-cent NBA live studio, the 2 commentators also sound disappointed. Wang Meng says, Wang Yi's 3-pointer misses. What a shame. Su Kun also shakes his head. If that shot had gone in, it would prove Wang Yi is a big-time player. That's crucial for him to secure a guaranteed contract later. The live chat is strangely quiet, though, because after that miss, the game isn't over yet. In this suffocating tension, the haters don't even have the energy to jump out and trash you on the court. After the ball bounces high, for Clippers players pack the paint, looking for the rebound. Aside from LeBron, the Lakers players are all beyond the 3-point line, too far to react. The rebound is grabbed by Coach Rondo of the Clippers. He starts to dribble. But before the ball even hits the floor, a pair of hands shoots in from the side. The player grabs the ball outright, yanks with all his might, and rips it straight out of Rondo's hands. Appure, outright steed. And that player is none other than Caruso, the only bald mamba in Los Angeles. The tide turns in an instant. All four Clippers players swarm him. Caruso is completely surrounded, wrapped up like a dumpling. He spots you still standing in the left corner. Without a second thought, Caruso leaps a big step toward the baseline, creating a passing lane. While still in the air, he fires the ball to you. When the fans see Caruso pass it to you again, almost all of them are screaming inside. No, 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 no. The commentator on the floor is also rapid fire. Caruso with the steal, and he passes it to Wang again. Wang just missed one. Surely he won't shoot again. Who will he pass to? LeBron is open on the perimeter. There's plenty of time on the clock. Wang should pass it to LeBron and reset the offense. But you don't overthink it at all. Wide open look. If you don't shoot, you'd be wasting a golden opportunity. As for psychological pressure, that's a joke. For someone who craves battle like you don't even know what pressure means. PG is closed out on you again. But even as you catch the ball, there's not a hint of hesitation. Your eyes are filled with nothing but resolve. Bend, rise, jump, raise, flick, release. The entire motion is fluid. One seamless movement. PG closes out with incredible speed this time, but he's too far away and can only watch helplessly as the ball sails over his fingertips. The crowd's hearts are in their throats once more. Even the commentator is shouting repeatedly, no, 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 no. The ball hangs in the air. The entire Staples Center falls silent. Everyone hold their breath. All eyes are locked on the ball as it travels through the air, and then, in the next instant, swish. The satisfying sound of the ball rustling through the net. A white splash erupts from the center of the rim. Three-pointer. The Staples Center instantly erupts in a thunderous roar, like a volcano exploding across the ocean. In the 10-cent NBA studio, commentator Wang Meng pumps his fist and shouts, "Incredible, absolutely incredible." Sukun can't help but excitedly push up his glasses and says, "Oh my God." Wang, he actually dared to take that shot. And it's such a critical moment. Clutch. He's a true big-time player. In a live chat, the haters who were ready to pounce are suddenly struck silent, as if they've been muted. The screen is flooded with 666 and GOAT, spamming the live stream. But out on the court, the 5 Lakers players have no time to celebrate. The Clippers used too many timeouts earlier and have none left. The Lakers must get back on defense immediately. The Clippers' final possession goes to Kawhi, and you're guarding him again. You lock your eyes on Kawhi. Coach Vogel signals from the sideline that a tactical foul is okay. You nod. With the clock winding down to 13 seconds, just as Kawhi is about to make his move, you reach out and grab his jersey. Since the Lakers haven't reached the bonus yet, there are no free throws. The ball is inbound again. PG catches it. You're glued to Kawhi, denying him any chance to catch the ball. PG tries to pass it to Kawhi a few times, but sees the passing lanes are all clogged. Remembering how you stole the ball from Kawhi twice earlier, he gives up on the pass. He forces up a contested shot over LeBron from deep. Clang! The ball bangs off the rim, and the red light on the backboard lights up. Buzz. Game over. 118-117. The Lakers win by 1 point. The crowd erupts once more. The Lakers players are all pumping their fists. Caruso is the first to sprint over, hugging you excitedly. He shouts, "Wang, we won. Thanks to your clutch 3. LeBron and the others walk over. "Wang, this is your moment," LeBron says. "Enjoy it." As a veteran, he's sharing his wisdom. Tucker, Gasol, Carroll, and the others all come to high-five you. "Wang, you're a big-time player. Man, you're something else." The Lakers players gather together, fully savoring this hard-earned victory. A moment later, the Lakers' emotions gradually settled down. The Clippers players came over, exchanging hugs and respects with the Lakers. Kawhi hugged LeBron first, then came over to hug you. He's a man of few words, and only said, "You're an opponent worthy of respect." You were even more brief. You too, with that Kawhi, quickly headed for the tunnel. But during that hug, you could feel the fierce fighting spirit within him. That's how all superstars are. The stronger the opponent, the more intense their will to compete. After PG hugged LeBron, he also came over to hug you. "After today, I'll remember your name. Looking forward to our next matchup." You nodded and said, "Yeah, me too." After they left. But just then, another staff member called out to you. He said apologetically, "Sorry, Wang. You can't leave just yet. There's one more interview. It's a reporter from your country. A post-game interview is an honor for an average player. But for many big-name players, it's just something they do. The staff member's apologetic look showed that. Your status in their eyes had already risen a notch. Hearing it was a reporter from China, you immediately nodded. Send them over. Far from home, seeing a fellow countryman, you were naturally happy to oblige. Seeing you agree, the staff member quickly nodded. Okay, I'll bring them over right away. Soon, a beautiful reporter with a cameraman walked over. You turned to look. The reporter had long, flowing hair, wearing a tight, white dress. Her stunning figure was perfectly accentuated by the outfit. You naturally recognized her, Zhou Lingen. When you first entered the NBA, she had done a feature interview with you. Chinese fans who follow the NBA probably know her well. She often does post-game interviews with players after games. However, her status in the NBA is far below the big names at TNT or ESPN. So normally, she couldn't get interviews with star players, mostly role players. Hey, Wang Yi. We meet again. She greeted you warmly. This wasn't your first meeting, and hearing Mandarin in the NBA is rare, so it felt familiar and comforting. You smiled too. Good to see you again. Zhou Lingen said. Congratulations on your outstanding performance tonight and hitting the clutch shot. You nodded. Thanks, Zhou Lingen continued. You only played 15 minutes tonight, shooting 9 for 13 from 3, with 28 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, and a block. With such a stellar performance, what are you feeling right now? You put on a thoughtful expression, as if organizing your thoughts. Zhou Lingen didn't rush you. She knew all NBA players undergo media training after entering the league, learning what to say and what not to say. After a moment, you seemed to have considered it and found your words. Taking a deep breath, you replied, Awesome. Zhou Lingen was taken aback, then couldn't help but laugh out loud. All that preparation, and you come up with one word. The cameraman couldn't hold back his laughter either. The camera started to shake slightly. After a moment, Zhou Lingen suppressed her laughter and asked, So what drove you to perform so well? This time, you didn't hesitate, and said with a grin, So I could get interviewed by you after the game. Zhou Lingen beamed at this, saying, You're so funny. Then Zhou Lingen asked another question. One last question. You have many fans back in China supporting you. What would you like to say to them? You nodded and said, To my fans who support me, I won't let you down. As for the haters, say what you want. If I even acknowledge you, I lose. Zhou Lingen was a bit surprised. You seemed pretty mild-mannered on the surface, and she didn't expect you to say that directly. But thinking about it, you hadn't performed well in the past 2 years, and many fans back home gradually stopped following you. That's understandable. The haters kept saying you couldn't play, and you accepted that. But many haters took it to a personal level, even attacking your family. To say you had no anger about that would be a lie. Now, with such a great performance, you could finally hold your head high. Saying this now was your final response to the haters. Understanding this, Zhou Lingen smiled and said, Wang Yi, thanks for the interview. Looking forward to another great performance from you next game. You nodded. See you next time. You said goodbye to Zhou Lingen. As you entered the tunnel, you were a little surprised. LeBron was waiting for you at the tunnel entrance. Usually, when a role player has an exceptional game, LeBron and AD would wait for him at the tunnel entrance on their way back to the locker room. Tonight, with your outstanding performance and the near game winner, you certainly earned that treatment. LeBron patted your shoulder and said, Bro, come with me to the press conference later. I told you. Your luck is about to change. You laughed. Thanks. Back in the locker room, you took a quick shower, then followed LeBron to the press conference. This was your first post-game press conference. You answered every question from the reporters. Your answers were airtight, and you even cracked a joke or two, drawing laughter from the room. Meanwhile, at the Staples Center, in the merchandise area, a blond boy around 10 years old ran in, looking frantic. Holding a $10 bill, he said to the clerk, I want a Lakers #1 jersey. The clerk shook his head. Sorry, we don't have any #1 jerseys. The boy was confused. How? #1. He's the guy who hit the game winner tonight. His jersey. The clerk shook his head again and said with a smile, I'm really sorry. He's currently on a 10-day contract. We don't sell jerseys for players on 10-day contracts. 10-day contract players have non-guaranteed deals. After this game, he could be cut at any moment, and even if he isn't, he's only with the team for 10 days. After those 10 days, he might be on another team or out of the league entirely. So of course we don't sell their jerseys. or no team would ever sign him again. So of course they wouldn't sell his jersey. The boy grew anxious upon hearing this. What'd I do then? I really want Wang's jersey. The clerk shrugged and said, sorry. If you have a phone number, you can leave it with us. The day his jerseys arrive, we'll notify you right away. As they were talking, the boy's parents had already walked into the store. After learning what was going on, they left their phone number. Before leaving, the boy kept reminding the clerk, if Wang's jersey comes in, please let me know immediately. I really want his jersey. Meanwhile, some fans were also tweeting, they don't even have Wang's jersey? What the hell? I heard Wang's on a 10-day contract. Lakers, give him a guaranteed deal already. Pelinka, get on it. Meanwhile, you were completely unaware of all this. As for the guaranteed contract, you weren't worried at all. After these 2 games, you had already proven your worth. A quality 3 and D player is highly sought after in the NBA. Even if the Lakers didn't offer you a guaranteed deal, you believed other teams would be lining up to give you one. Besides, what the Lakers needed most right now was exactly a quality 3 and D player. You believed Pelinka wouldn't just sit there. That night, you went back to Caruso's garage and fell asleep early. But across the ocean, the Chinese internet was completely set ablaze by your game-winning shot today. Online, just about any NBA media outlet was mentioning your name. Vincent Sport NBA section. Surprise. Wang Yi drops 28 points in 15 minutes. A Chinese player's first near-game winner in the NBA. Puma basketball section. Sorry, King James. A new king is about to be crowned. Pelinka, what are you waiting for? All kinds of reports and posts quickly spread across the entire internet. There's no denying that a lot of it was exaggerated. But that's just how the domestic media is. When you play badly, they'll drag you through the mud. When you play well, they'll put you on a pedestal. As a Chinese player in the NBA, you have to be ready for the pedestal, but also prepared for the mud. On the Weibo of Wang Yi, a well-known domestic basketball commentator, he only posted 2 words, so satisfying. What those 2 words meant went without saying. For domestic fans, ever since Yao Ming retired, they had been waiting for the next Chinese player to establish themselves in the NBA. You had gone to the NBA, but the first 2 years were spent bouncing around teams, only getting a few minutes of garbage time. Naturally, there wasn't much to show for it. But in tonight's game, not only did you drop 28 points, you also hit the near-game winner. This made Chinese fans feel like the frustration they'd held in for over a decade was finally, mostly, released. At the same time, news of your near-game winner also shot up to number 8 on Weibo's hot search. Even people who didn't really follow basketball, upon seeing that a Chinese player could hold their head high in the NBA, would go and search for it. And your highlight reel of scoring 28 points in just 15 minutes was circulating on various short video platforms. As for all of this, you were completely in the dark. The next morning at 5:30, you had just woken up when the cold, electronic voice sounded in your head again. Complete 1,000 lateral slides. Revard, lateral quickness mais 20%. Hearing this reward, you were instantly wide awake. If your lateral quickness increased by 20%, you'd immediately be in the league's elite tier. If that happened, your defensive quality would jump up a whole level. It looked like you were really going to become a top-tier 3 and D player. Unable to contain your excitement, you headed straight to the training facility. The security guard was woken up by you, but he didn't complain at all. Instead, he was very enthusiastic. Wang, you this early too? I saw your near-game winner last night. That was awesome. When are you going to give me an autograph? This security guard was also a die-hard Lakers fan. He'd basically spent his whole adult life working at the Lakers arena and training facility. You said, any time is fine. The guard nodded. Awesome. I'll come find you later. Speaking of which, you're really dedicated. Someone as dedicated as you, I've only ever seen one other. You know who that is? Kobe Bryant. You answered without hesitation. In the NBA, Kobe was famous for his work ethic. The guard nodded and laughed. Keep it up, bro. I hope that in the near future, I'll see the second Black Mamba. You just smiled and said nothing. Becoming the second Black Mamba would certainly be an honor. But you didn't want to be the second anyone. You just wanted to be the first you. One of a kind. Entering the training facility, you took off your jacket, got into your stance, and immediately started the lateral slide drills. By 9 a.m., the Lakers players were arriving at the gym one by one, and you had just completed your 1,000 lateral slides. Hearing the task completion notification, you felt completely drained, as if you were about to collapse. You shuffled over to the bench, gasping for air. When you'd rested enough, you looked up and saw General Manager Pelinka standing beside you, having arrived at some point. Wang, there's something I'd like to discuss with you. Please follow me. Hearing this, you immediately guessed what it was about. You followed Pelinka to the GM's office. Pelinka pointed to the sofa and said, "Have a seat." He also poured you a glass of water. Generally speaking, general managers are very shrewd people. They tell people what they want to hear and play the game accordingly. But Pelinka was different. He liked to be straightforward. Once you finished the glass of water, he cut to the chase. "Wang, I'm not going to offer you a guaranteed contract right now." You were a bit surprised. After a performance like that, Pelinka wasn't offering a guaranteed deal, and the 3 and D skills you'd shown in these 2 games were exactly what the Lakers needed. Logically, Pelinka should have offered you a guaranteed contract. You didn't say anything, waiting for Pelinka to explain. Then Pelinka continued. "Your performance has earned the team's recognition. It's enough to get you a guaranteed contract worth over $2 million. But I believe your potential is greater than that. So I'm not going to give you that $2 million guaranteed contract right now. With the team's current salary cap situation, we can offer over $5 million. But for $5 million, you need to perform accordingly. So I want to see a few more games. If before this 10-day contract ends, you can play up to the level we expect, I'll give you that $5 million guaranteed contract." You breathed a sigh of relief. So that's what Pelinka meant. The reason he didn't sign you to a guaranteed deal immediately was just to see a few more games, to see if you could earn the higher $5 million salary over the next few games. You nodded. "I understand." Pelinka continued, "Of course, even if you don't end up getting the $5 million guaranteed contract, I'll still give you a guaranteed deal, just under $2 million, based solely on your near-game winner last night, just within $2 million. With that near-game winner you hit last night, that's all he's worth, $2 million. Hearing that, you can't help but smile and say thanks. Honestly, Pelinka's not a bad guy. After finishing the team's morning practice, you head out to eat with the other players. When you come back from lunch, you see the security guard holding a Lakers jersey and a marker. You smile and sign it for him. The security guard looks thrilled. "Wang, you gotta keep working hard. Once you become a superstar, I'll put this jersey up for sale online. It'll fetch a good price." Hearing that, you're left speechless. The security guard bursts out laughing. "I'm just kidding. No way I'd sell a Lakers jersey." Time quickly jumps to 9 p.m. the next night. It's game day again today, and tonight's opponent is the Phoenix Suns. The Suns eliminated the Lakers last year, making the Lakers the first defending champion to be bounced in the first round. That's a shameful record. So the whole Lakers squad is hungry for revenge, especially their star, LeBron James. After last year's exit, he caught no shortage of mockery from NBA legends to millions of online fans. Even though this is just a regular season game, LeBron doesn't want to lose either. Before the game even starts, in China's Penguin NBA livestream room, fans are already buzzing. You think Wang Yi's threes can pop off again? Very possible. Hope he goes off. It's been a long time since China had a player who can actually ball. Of course, there are plenty of haters too. Go off. Yeah, right. 3 straight games of popping off. You think he's really Curry in God mode? Heard Anthony Davis is out injured this game. That makes the Suns' defense a lot easier. They can spread more attention onto the other players. In that case, if Wang Yi still pops off, that'd be a miracle. Yeah, the first 2 games were like Jeremy Lin back in the day. Other teams didn't know him yet. Now that he's popped off twice, the Suns have definitely studied him. If it's to let him go off, their front office might as well disband. If he pops off, I'll eat my own shoe on stream. The moment that comment drops, someone fires back, "Get lost. You still owe us from the last 2 games. Now you're back for more free food." In this Penguin NBA livestream, the host is Kofan with commentary. The guest is a well-known domestic basketball analyst and media personality, Wang Yi, and the female host is still Maina. Kofan starts. "Young, the game hasn't started yet. Can you predict how this one's going to go?" Wang Yi smiles. "You're just waiting to see me eat my words? Huh. But predictions are never 100% accurate. Anthony Davis is out tonight. Chris Paul is playing through injury. History really does repeat itself. As for how it goes, the Suns have Paul and Booker. The Lakers can't rely on just LeBron. Other guys have to step up for this game to be competitive." Kofan throws out another question. "So who do you think can step up?" Wang Yi answers without hesitation. The Lakers' three-point shooting has been a problem since last season. It's carried over into this one. KCP is hit or miss. Caruso and Kuzma can hit a couple here and there, but as a consistent weapon, they're still lacking. Schroeder's 3 isn't reliable either. So who can step up? First, whether Schroeder can attack the rim. Second, our own Wang Yi. But it's tough for Wang Yi tonight. He's popped off 2 straight games. The Suns will have prepared specific defensive schemes against him. Him going off again? Not very likely. At 9:30 p.m., the game begins. This is the final game of the Lakers' 5-game homestand. Fans filed into the stands early. And today, Oscar-winning actor Jack Nicholson is in the house. He starred in The Shining and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and won an Oscar for Best Actor. He's also the Lakers' most famous fan. For most of the Lakers games each season, he's in attendance. Right now, he's once again in his VIP seat, row 1, seat 124. It's his season-long reserved seat. From there, he can watch the game up close and also vent his frustrations at the refs, putting pressure on them. His gaze lands on you. Wearing the number 1 jersey. He's followed the Lakers for over 50 years, witnessing their rise and fall through 5 decades. This season, with LeBron aging and dropping to just 20.1 points per game, and Davis constantly banged up, the Lakers' ranking isn't high. It seems like the Lakers are in decline again, but after those last 2 games, he seems to see a glimmer of hope, and that hope comes from this Easterner. The Lakers' struggles this season, injuries and LeBron's decline, are certainly 2 main reasons, but the Lakers' awful 3-point shooting percentage is a huge factor. If the Lakers can fix their 3-point problem, their performance is worth looking forward to. Now, this Easterner might be the key to changing the Lakers' outside shooting. Of course, this is all just Jack Nicholson's inner thoughts. Whether this Easterner can carry that weight will take a few more games to determine. The game begins. Lakers starters: LeBron, Schroeder, Drummond, KCP, and Caruso. The Sun starters are mostly unchanged. Right away, LeBron gives the ball to Schroeder, letting him attack first. If Schroeder can get going, the defensive pressure on LeBron eases up. Schroeder drives for 2 points. Next, LeBron hits a 3. 5-0 start. Looks like a smooth opening. Smooth, but then the game shifts suddenly. The Suns' Booker hits back-to-back threes, and Paul knocks down a mid-range jumper. Meanwhile, the Suns are running a zone defense. Just like in last year's first round, to break a zone, you either hit threes or push the pace in transition. The Lakers failed to get out in transition twice in a row, and from 3-point range, the perimeter guys continue their usual shooting struggles. They're loaded with effort. But aside from LeBron's early 3, the other starters go 0, 4, 3 from beyond the arc. They're rattling the rim. On the other end, Booker looks ready to explode in the first quarter. In just 5 minutes, he's hit 4 threes, 4, 4, 4, for minutes in. The score is 5-14, a 9-point deficit. The Lakers quickly call a timeout. In the Penguin NBA livestream, Maina is stomping her feet in frustration, literally stomping. When the camera isn't on her, she keeps frowning and muttering silently. What is this garbage? Kufan keeps shaking his head. History really does repeat itself. Are we about to see last year's Game 6 first quarter again? Young, he also shakes his head. In Game 6 last year, first quarter, Devin Booker went 6, 4, 6 from 3 and dropped 22 points. Tonight, from minutes in, he's already 4 for 4 from 3 with 12 points. He's single-handedly torching the whole Lakers team. This scoring explosion is absolutely insane. Dropped 12 points. Single-handedly dismantling the entire Lakers squad. The scoring intensity is absolutely unreal. Looking at how this game is going, it's clearly going to play out like last year again. Kufan said. Now let's see how Coach Vogel adjusts. Will he put Wang Yi in? Wang Yi thought for a moment and shook his head. Not that fast. Wang Yi should make the rotation today, but he won't check in this early. And indeed, that's exactly what happened. The Lakers came out of the timeout without putting you in. Coach Vogel just had KCP chase Booker, while other players helped trap Booker. But the Lakers' offensive problems remained unsolved. The Suns stayed in their zone defense, forcing the Lakers to shoot threes. And the Lakers' threes were still clanking off the rim. LeBron had no choice but to resort to attacking the basket early. But with everyone collapsing in the paint, his driving efficiency dropped off a cliff. After all, he's getting older, not like before, where he'd drive in no matter how many were there, and just fly up for a rim-rattling dunk. Now LeBron, after driving in, can basically only manage a tough layup or a turnaround fadeaway jumper. He did make a couple of baskets, but Booker for the Suns was scorching hot, even with KCP chasing him and other players double-teaming him. He still knocked down 2 ridiculous threes in a row. 6, 4, 6 from beyond the arc, plus drives to the rim. He's already got 20 points total. He's truly trying to replicate his Game 6 performance from last year. Halfway through the quarter, the Lakers were already down 15. Vogel quickly called another timeout. If they fall behind by 20, it'll be very hard to come back. As the Lakers players came off the court, each one wore a grim expression. especially LeBron. He was thinking about last year's Game 6 again. His memory is far beyond the average person's. This gives him many advantages, like remembering every opponent's play call and remembering what every opponent's hand signal means. But at the same time, it brings him pain. He can't easily forget past painful moments. These painful moments always replay over and over in his mind, and every detail makes him feel like he's back there. The Lakers were down 15 just 6 minutes into the game when they were stopped for the second time in the stands at Staples Center. The fans no longer had that high energy from before. They all remembered last year's game, 6-2. Back then, Booker was also 6 from 3, and the Lakers situation took a sharp turn for the worse. They didn't want to see that scene repeat itself. The Lakers are a traditional powerhouse, a team that's won 17 championships. Their fans are very demanding. They won't encourage the team. Just because they're playing badly, they'll just curse at Vogel. Figure something out. What is this garbage? This is absolute crap. I paid all this money just to watch you guys play like a bunch of kids in a sandbox. Fuck, of course there were also many rational fans. Right now, only hitting threes can save the Lakers. But these bricklayers shoot threes. Worse than Shaq's grandma. Then someone thought of you. You've been on fire from 3 for 2 straight games. Coach Vogel isn't putting you in now. What's he waiting for? Put Wang in. This one shout stirred up a wave of reactions around them. Put Wang in. Put Wang in. Many in the crowd started chanting along. Vogel's gaze also turned to you at this moment. Originally, he had planned to put you in for a few minutes late in the second quarter. After all, just because you had 2 good games doesn't mean he'd immediately put you in the regular rotation. You have to take it slow. But now, before the bench unit even got in, the situation was already getting out of hand. No choice. He had to send you in early to see what you could do. Wang, you're in. Sub in for Schroeder. Schroeder heard this and just nodded, silently taking a seat on the bench. Actually, Vogel putting you in for Schroeder had his reasons. Schroeder is too short. Booker shooting over him was like taking candy from a baby. Putting you in with your defense should be able to limit Booker a bit. And on the three-point front, he also hoped you could provide some support for the team the moment you stepped onto the court floor, just like the previous 2 games. That cold, electronic voice sounded. Court check-in successful. Obtained. Basic block experience card. You didn't look closely and didn't use it immediately either because the Lakers were on offense. No need for a block. After checking in, matched up against Devin Booker, your blood started to boil. Your eyes gleamed with excitement. Devin Booker once scored 70 points and has also had 2 straight 50-point games. His scoring ability is absolutely explosive. Facing an opponent like this only fuels your fighting spirit more. Your eyes met Devin Booker's. He also saw the hint of battle in your eyes. Clearly, Booker had also heard about your performances in the last 2 games. On the first possession, the Suns were still in zone defense, even though they knew your three-point shooting was dangerous. You'd only had 2 good games, after all, so they didn't immediately lock onto you, but instead decided to test your shooting touch. So you were able to easily receive the pass from LeBron beyond the arc. Without even a hint of hesitation, you shot with your left hand. Swish. Quick as a flash. Three-pointer hits. The deficit is cut to 12. The home crowd finally had something to cheer about again. Seeing this, Devin Booker immediately took the ball. As a star player, he had to respond, especially since his three-point stroke was hot right now. You could guess his intentions without even thinking. So you immediately activated. Use the block experience card. Basic block experience card activated successfully. Block success rate, 50%. Duration, 10 minutes. At this moment, Devin Booker faced you. Without any hesitation. He's taller than you. No need to avoid you. He rose up for a pull-up 3 right in your face. As a former three-point contest champion, he had that much confidence. The commentator for this game was the Lakers' home announcer. So naturally, his commentary was biased toward the Lakers. Seeing Booker about to take a pull-up 3, he shook his head and said, "Oh no, Devin Booker is going up for the pull-up." But before he could even finish his sentence, you had already jumped with him. Your left fingertips just barely grazed the ball. The ball's trajectory changed, and it fell weakly to the ground after flying only 2 meters. The commentator's words caught mid-sentence, then changed. Blocked. It's a block by Wang. He blocked Booker. That's awesome. At the same time, Caruso picked up the loose ball and pushed the fast break immediately. Kuzma was already running ahead on the break, so he easily finished with a dunk. The deficit instantly shrank to 10. The home crowd erupted in cheers. Devin Booker glanced at you, anger stirring inside him. After Paul brought the ball past half court, knowing what Devin Booker was thinking. Having just been blocked by this unknown number one on the Lakers, he naturally wanted to get his revenge. Paul, as a wily veteran, also knew the importance of letting Devin Booker get his revenge right now. He passed the ball to Booker, then signaled for everyone else to clear out. Devin Booker, one-on-one with you. This time, he didn't go straight for the pull-up, but instead suddenly dribbled to his right. He seemed to be trying to blow past with speed. You immediately took a step back, and just as you took that step back, Devin Booker stepped back himself, creating space beyond the three-point line. He then rose up and fired a three. However, you closed out with incredible speed. Just as Devin Booker raised the ball, before he could even release it, you came right at him, swatting the ball and the man down. A perfect Dwayne Wade-style block. The commentators on site were stunned. Oh my God. Wang blocked another one. How is he so fast? This is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Devin Booker was a bit dazed at this moment. Logically, that move he just made, the hesitation fake into his step back, should have shaken this kid off. How could he have closed out that fast? But in reality, that step back he took when he drove was also a defensive fake. You knew Devin Booker, still bitter about being blocked earlier, would likely try another three-pointer in front of you. So as you step back, your upper body was already leaning forward, ready to pounce. When Booker stepped back, you were already on him like a shadow. Naturally, it looked incredibly fast. Of course, there was an element of gambling here. If Booker had actually driven, he could have blown right past you. But you gambled right. After blocking that shot, you dribbled quickly, charging towards the front court. Behind you, Paul was chasing with his head down. You initially planned to lay it up yourself, but considering your injured right hand, a left-handed layup wasn't as smooth. So after dribbling past the three-point line in the front court, you made a behind-the-back pass to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, trailing behind. Pope caught the ball and leaped high with a loud bang. He slammed it home. The deficit was cut to just 8 points. The crowd's roar increased by several dozen decibels. At the same time, the arena DJ dragged out his voice, announcing loudly, "Dunk by Caldwell-Pope, assist by Wang Yi." The DJ wasn't blind. He naturally knew that 90% of the credit for that basket belonged to you. You blocked Booker, the Suns' hottest hand, and came up with the ball. That's what led to Pope's dunk. So when announcing your name, the DJ's voice was especially high-pitched, and he dragged it out extra long. Moreover, the DJ's voice was highly infectious, and the atmosphere in the arena heated up once again. Amidst the cheers, the fans were also buzzing. See, I told you. They should have put Wang in earlier. 2 blocks in a row. And against the Suns' best scorer, no less. That's so cool. Wang doesn't play like a 10-day contract guy. I think he's a star player. Suns head coach Monty Williams was also cautious. After the Lakers went on a 7-0 run, he quickly called a timeout. During the timeout, he observed Booker carefully. Booker was drinking from a water bottle, but his eyes revealed a fierce, fighting spirit. He studied Booker closely. Is this nobody? How dare he try to dunk on me? Coach Williams knew Booker was young and prone to losing his cool. If he suppressed him outright, it would surely cause problems. So he had to let Booker play his way back into the game. But there was a method to it. He couldn't just force things. He immediately patted Booker on the back and said, "Devin, you need to get yours back. Teach that Eastern kid a lesson." Booker screwed the cap back on his bottle and said with firm resolve, "I know." Coach Williams nodded. "But you can't shoot threes anymore. That kid is a strong shot blocker and seems to have a lot of experience defending the three. So you need to change your strategy. You need to drive on him. Drive him into the ground, understand?" For the young Devin, changing his strategy was almost like conceding. 2 years ago, he would have never agreed. But after last year's playoffs, he had grown a lot. As long as he could laugh last, the twists and turns along the way didn't matter. He nodded and said, "Got it." Paul, hearing this from the side, felt a sense of relief. If the Suns wanted to achieve greater things, their star player, Booker, had to grow. And for what he could see, Booker was indeed growing quickly. Back on the court, the game continued. Paul dribbled past half court and again gave it to Booker. Everyone else cleared out for an isolation. Booker faced your defense, crossing the ball over slowly between his hands. After 4 dribbles, he suddenly changed his rhythm, raising both hands as if about to shoot. You immediately stepped forward, preparing to block. But that was just a pump fake by Booker. The next moment, he lowered his center of gravity, planning to drive down the left side. But just as he started to drive, you slid over with incredible speed. He slammed hard into your chest. Booker reacted quickly too. With the left side drive cut off, he did a behind-the-back dribble with his left hand, instantly shifting to the right side, attempting to drive right. But he had only taken 1 step, when with a dull thud, he collided with your chest once more. Unable to get past you, Booker could only back up a few steps. After creating some distance, he tried to accelerate and drive again. But your lateral quickness was just too fast, and every time, you were perfectly positioned, right in his driving lane. After several failed attempts, he was finally forced to step back again, retreating beyond the three-point line. This time, you were indeed fooled. But even so, you couldn't let Booker get an easy shot. You lunged at him with all you had, trying to disrupt his shot, without making any contact with his body. Booker, perhaps feeling a bit anxious, or perhaps wary of your block, saw this shot. Playing off the back rim, Andre Drummond grabbed the rebound. The commentator on site exclaimed in surprise. Did you see that? Did you see Wang's defense on that possession? Of course we saw it. Airtight. Watertight. His lateral movement is so fast. Devin Booker simply cannot get past him. This is definitely the fastest lateral movement I've ever seen. To exaggerate a bit, he's top tier in the league right now. But despite your strong defense, unfortunately, the Lakers missed on that possession. On the next Suns possession, Booker still couldn't break down your defense and was again forced into a tough shot. The three-pointer missed. During the Lakers' fast break, you knocked down a three-pointer. The lead was down to just 5 points. Back on the other end, the Suns were on offense. Paul could see Booker starting to get frustrated. He knew they couldn't keep going like this. He needed to calm things down. Besides, the team hadn't scored in a while. He had to step up and put points on the board himself. This was the veteran savvy of Chris Paul. When the offense is flowing, he's the facilitator, feeding his teammates. When the offense is stagnant, he steps up to attack. This time, he didn't pass the ball to Booker, feeding his teammates the ball. When the offense stalls, he steps up to attack the basket. This time, he didn't pass to Booker. Instead, he gestured to Booker, pressing his right hand downward, meaning calm down. Booker had a lot of respect for Paul. Though he was frustrated you kept stopping him, he knew he needed to settle down. So he stopped demanding the ball and gave Paul a look instead. The Lakers had already subbed out Drummond and brought Harrell back in. The team's mobility had increased significantly, so the Lakers' current defensive strategy was to switch on every screen. You switched and ended up guarding Paul. Paul, from watching you guard Booker, had already figured out your defensive tendency. You love to jump. Against a defender like that, Paul had 100 ways to toy with him. Facing your defense, he suddenly pivoted to his right. You slid right to cut him off. But Paul's pivot was only half a turn. He quickly dropped his center of gravity and drove past your left side. You hurriedly shuffled left, but Paul already had half a step on you. As you slid over, he had already gathered the ball with both hands, ready to rise up. He wanted to pump fake you into the air before shooting. But this time, you, the one who loves to jump, didn't bite. Paul was confident he'd get you in the air, so he confidently pulled up. A mid-range shot for him was as automatic as a layup. But you only jumped as he released the ball. Paul saw this, and his heart skipped a beat. After leaping, he quickly leaned back for a fadeaway, but your fingertips still grazed the ball. The ball flew 2 meters through the air. Before, like a spent force, it weakly dropped short. Paul frowned. This guy jumps so much on defense. So why didn't he jump this time? Little did he know, you don't actually love jumping. Over the past 2 years, though you rarely played in official games, outside of training and sleeping, you spent almost every waking moment watching film, analyzing NBA players' moves and habits. You knew every starter and rotation player on all 30 NBA teams, their technical tendencies, even their temperaments. To put it bluntly, their own teammates probably didn't know them as well as you did. So you don't actually love jumping. You just jump against players like Devin Booker. You knew Paul was short. So after driving, if he hadn't created enough separation, he always liked to pump fake before rising up. So when Paul made his first fake, you didn't jump. And when Paul rose for Real, you jumped to block him. It sounds simple, but it was the result of years of relentless hard work. You blocked Paul's shot, and the ball happened to land in the hands of their center, Ayton. Ayton grabbed it, turned around, and went up for the shot. You happened to be the closest, so you jumped again before Ayton could release. Smack! You swatted the ball right in his face. The ball flew straight toward the Suns' Crowder. Crowder caught it, saw no one defending the rim, and rose up for a dunk. But you slid over, appearing in front of Crowder in a flash. You leapt high, both hands raised. A volleyball block. Crowder's dunk slammed right into your hands. The ball dropped, and LeBron grabbed it. He fired a signature long pass to Kuzma, who had already leaked out on the fast break. Kuzma threw down a one-handed slam. The arena erupted like a volcano, a deafening roar. The Staples Center rafters trembled under the sheer force of the crowd's cheers. And you, having just blocked 3 shots in a row, roared at the sky, as if releasing all the emotion. You'd bottled up for 2 years. Then you raised your right hand, extended your index finger, and shook it 3 times in the air. The commentators went crazy. Oh my God, consecutive blocks. Consecutive blocks. What am I seeing? The Mount Matambo. The Mount Matambo. No, the Great Wall of Asia is the insurmountable Mount Everest. In the Penguin NBA live stream room, the bullet comments were flooded with 666 and Beast filling the screen. After the game, GM Pelinka came to find you. You thought your performance was enough to earn a guaranteed contract worth $2 million a year, but Pelinka said your performance was worth far more than that. He believed your potential merited a $5 million annual contract, but you needed to deliver a corresponding performance within this 10-day contract. Pelinka wanted to see a few more games from you. If you failed to shine again, he promised he'd still give you a $2 million guaranteed contract, because that near-game winner you hit was pure proof, and you didn't let him down. 2 days later, in the Lakers game against the Phoenix Suns, the Suns' Devin Booker was scorching hot. Just 5 minutes in, he was 6 from 3. It was almost a replay of game SIXS first quarter last year. One man dismantling the entire Lakers team. The Lakers were getting destroyed at home, and the fans were fired up, chanting for you to get in the game. Head coach Vogel also looked your way. He hadn't planned on putting you in this early, but before the bench unit even got on the floor, the situation was already spiraling. So you stepped in against the tide once again. But by now, Devin Booker was in full unstoppable mode. However, no one expected that right after you checked in, you block him. Twice in a row, completely stunning Booker. The Suns head coach quickly called a timeout to settle Booker down. But they had no idea. Those 2 blocks were just the appetizer. Play resumed. Suns veteran Chris Paul had the ball. He thought handling a rookie like you would be easy, but you had completely figured out his game. Another block. Because your fingertips grazed the ball, Paul shot after flying 2 meters, weakly dropped short. The ball happened to land in the hands of their center, Ayton. Ayton grabbed it, turned around, and went up for the shot. You happened to be the closest, so you jumped again before Ayton could release. Smack! You swatted the ball right in his face. The ball flew straight toward the Suns' Crowder. Crowder caught it, saw no one defending the rim, and rose up for a dunk. But you slid over, appearing in front of Crowder in a flash. You leapt high, both hands raised. A volleyball block. Crowder's dunk slammed right into your hands. The ball dropped, and LeBron grabbed it. He fired a signature long pass to Kuzma, who had already leaked out on the fast break. Kuzma threw down a one-handed slam. The arena erupted like a volcano. A deafening roar. The Staples Center rafters, under the sheer force of the crowd's cheers, trembled. And you, having just blocked 3 shots in a row, roared at the sky, as if releasing all the emotion. You'd bottled up for 2 years. Then you raised your right hand, extended your index finger, and shook it 3 times in the air. The commentators went crazy. Oh my God, consecutive blocks. Consecutive blocks. What am I seeing? The Mount Matambo. The Mount Matambo. He's not the mountain king of Asia. He's the insurmountable Mount Everest. In the Penguin NBA live stream across the ocean, on the bullet comments, the screen was flooded with 666 and beast mode. In the live stream room, Kufan and Wang Yi were full of praise. This defense seems to have leveled up again, compared to last game. Yeah, he blocked Booker twice, CP3 once, Ayton once, Crowder once. It's only been 5 minutes, and he already has 5 blocks. He's only 1.92 meters tall. His shot blocking ability is truly outstanding. Everyone sees his shot blocking, but I'm more focused on his defense on Booker earlier. His lateral movement is too fast. Booker simply couldn't get past him. This makes me even more excited for the rest of the game. Just as they were saying that, the broadcast cut to the referee. The referee made a T sign. Exclaimed. What's going on? That's a technical. Wang Yi was also surprised. What? The camera was following Harrell on the fast break. We didn't see what happened. Look quickly. The replay is already up. After you blocked 3 shots in a row, you pointed and wagged your finger in the air. Oh, it's the finger wag. Wang Yi wagged his finger after 3 straight blocks. Wang Yi shook his head too. In the entire NBA, only Matambo was league-sanctioned to wag his finger. Wang Yi's second 10-day contract is worth $20,000. This one tech is a $25,000 fine. That's not really worth it. Kufan said. I'm sure LeBron will pay the fine for him. The haters who had gone quiet on the bullet comments came back out. No respect. You could tell a person's character from their game. With such poor sportsmanship, he must be a terrible person too. Got 3 blocks. And his ego is already through the roof. Huh, on the court, even though you got the tech. You don't regret it. The NBA is a place for showing off your personality. If you don't show off after 3 straight blocks, when would you? Because of your technical. The Suns got free throws. After CP3 made the free throw, they continued their possession. This time, their attack was met by your huge block. You swatted the ball directly into the stands. The crowd erupted again. The system's shot-blocking experience card theoretically boosts your block chance to 50%, but combined with your familiarity with these players' moves and habits, that percentage is actually much higher. Coming back down the court, you drained another 3, and because Booker was anxious, he closed out too hard, fouled you on the arm. So it was a 3-point play. Your free throw was still steady. After making it, you completely erased the deficit. End of the first quarter. Wang Yi commented in the Penguin NBA livestream. The Lakers are truly a magical team. Down 15 in half a quarter, then erased the deficit in just half a quarter. Kufan nodded and said, "That's right. The Lakers finally don't have to repeat the process of losing Game 6 last year. All of this changed from the moment our player Wang Yi stepped on the court. Honestly, in these 3 games, Wang Yi has brought us surprises every single game. Wang Yi continued. In the first game, his threes were like a gift from the gods. In the second game, besides threes, he brought out the death grip defense. In this third game, he's brought out his shot-blocking mastery. It's like he has an arsenal. Each game, he pulls out a new weapon, leaving opponents helpless. The Suns head coach, Williams, was encouraging his players, while also giving them instructions. Watch it. We have to slow the pace down. Play as slow as possible. Don't give them any chances for fast breaks. He also knew the Lakers' defense was strong. So usually, to beat the Lakers, you want to play fast. But playing fast now leads to turnovers. Easy for the Lakers to capitalize on fast breaks. So he had to slow the pace down. Try to run the offense through CP3. See if they could score. It's like having 2 bottles of poison in front of you. Just pick the first one and got poisoned. After being reborn this time, even though he knows the other bottle is poison too, he has to try the other one just in case. After the huddle, his gaze casually drifted over to you on the Lakers bench in the distance. The Suns situation was looking great before, but because this guy came on the court, everything changed. If they wanted to win, they had to solve this problem. With that thought, he turned and looked at Crowder. After a moment, he shook his head slightly. Let's see how it goes first. If it really doesn't work, we'll use Crowder in the third quarter. At the start of the second quarter, the Lakers starters were mostly resting. Only Schroeder was on the court with a bunch of bench players. The bench players, perhaps inspired by your 3 straight blocks earlier, were playing with incredible ferocity. Morris and Gasol hit back-to-back threes. Even Drummond hit a 3. Plus Schroeder drove to the basket 3 times in a row. On the Suns side, perhaps demoralized by your 3 straight blocks, their energy was low. Missing outside shots was one thing, but they were even missing dunks inside. With 3 minutes left in the half, the Lakers were already up by 12. That's when you came back on the court. You got 2 more blocks, plus 2 more threes. By halftime, the Lakers had extended the lead to 20 points. Halftime. The on-site commentators were very excited. The start of this game looked like it was going to replicate the Game 6 collapse from last year. But after Wang came on, he completely changed the momentum. Now the Lakers are up by 20. Wang didn't just change the momentum. He completely flipped the game on its head. Let's look forward to the second half. See if Wang can perform even better. In the VIP seat 124, front row, Oscar-winning actor Jack Nicholson. Behind his rosy-tinted glasses, his eyes were filled with deep satisfaction. So far, this Easterner keeps bringing surprises to the Lakers. Maybe the hope for the Lakers' revival lies with him. Meanwhile, in the visiting team's locker room, the Suns players were all feeling down. They've been down 20 before, more than once. Logically speaking, they shouldn't be this down. But today's game was different. Ever since that Lakers #1 came on the court, they've been sinking deeper and deeper into the abyss. They couldn't see any hope of closing the gap. Can't score on offense. Can't stop them on defense. How are they supposed to play? Even their star player, Devin Booker, was hanging his head, covering his head with a towel, not saying a word. Veteran CP3 saw this. He clapped his hands hard. This is what we're going to do. Give up? Do we want to be called soft? Get your heads in the game. Damn it. Remember how we eliminated them last year? They were the defending champions then. We turned the defending champions into losers. And now, in front of these losers, we're going to give up? So in front of this loser, we just back down? Paul is definitely one of the most competitive and driven players in the NBA. His words slowly lifted the spirits of the players one by one. But down by a full 20 points now, his motivational speech alone was far from enough. So head coach Williams once again looked to Crowder and said, "Crowder, shut down that Easterner in the third quarter." But shut down didn't just mean defense. It meant constant provocation, angering the opponent, even resorting to dirty plays. Back in the Heat's finals run, Crowder, then a Heat player, had given opposing players plenty of bruises. A villain like him. Fans don't like him. Players despise him. But for a team to succeed, you need exactly the kind of guy. Bruce Bowen on the Spurs, Draymond Green with the Warriors, Zaza Pachulia, Andrew Bogut, and Crowder during the Heat's Big Three era all played that role. Crowder knew his job. He made an okay gesture and said to his teammates, "That Easterner is mine. Don't worry." When the third quarter started, the same starting lineup from the first quarter was on the floor, but Schroeder seemed distracted, committing 2 turnovers in just 3 minutes. Before being pulled by the coach, you stepped back onto the court. Now you were truly in the rotation. On the bench, Tucker felt a bit disappointed. He should have been the one in the rotation. But because of your stellar play, his minutes have been cut significantly. But that's the cruelty of competitive sports. Whoever performs plays. If you don't, you're out. All he could do was train hard, and whenever he got a chance to play, he had to seize it and show what he could do, not sit on the bench like a bitter complainer. Schroeder, on the other hand, seemed to have his eyes wandering off the court, lost in thought. After you came in, your three-point shooting wasn't as explosive as the last 2 games. But with a 45% floor, you were still shooting better than most. That forced the Suns to change their defensive strategy. They couldn't risk the zone defense anymore, and had to extend their pressure. As a result, the Lakers found driving lanes. LeBron attacked the rim 3 straight times, and Caruso got one too, scoring inside and out. The Suns, meanwhile, got blocked by you twice more. Booker's shot wasn't falling, and his drives were shut down by you. The others weren't shooting as soft as before either. Paul hit 2 mid-range jumpers, but against the Lakers' relentless wave of offense, he couldn't carry the team alone. The gap was heading toward 30 points. Then, on a Lakers possession, you did what you always do, running off screens to catch the ball beyond the arc. Just then, Crowder, while the ref's attention was on the ball handler outside, sneakily grabbed your arm and yanked it hard. Startled, you went with emotion and fell, slamming hard onto the floor. Good thing you rolled with it. With Crowder's strength, your right arm could have been dislocated. Crowder stumbled a couple steps from the momentum and also went down, complaining to the refs. "He fouled me. He pulled me down. He's playing dirty." The villain striking first. But since everyone's attention was on the perimeter, the refs didn't see what you two did. The baseline refs signaled to keep playing. You got up, stretched your arm, and kept running. Crowder, chasing you, kept throwing in little cheap shots. The sneakiest was the hip pinch, like a wicked old maid, twisting your side whenever he could. You'd studied Crowder. He never used to do that. In the whole NBA, the most notorious hip pincher was Paul. Since Paul isn't tall, he often uses these sneaky little tricks on defense. It hurts like hell and makes opponents hesitant. And in the heat of the game, refs rarely catch it. Now Crowder had picked up the trick. You smirked inwardly. Heap being team, two can play that game. So when Crowder pressed too close, or you two got tangled up, you'd sneak a pinch right back at his side. Crowder cursed under his breath. After 2 more minutes of this, your waist was black and blue, but Crowder wasn't doing great either. As a black man, the marks on his skin weren't as visible, but he was covered in bruises too. That was your answer to dirty players. Give them a taste of their own medicine. Don't talk about sportsmanship or on-court ethics. Crowder's sneaky moves are nearly impossible for refs to catch. Complaining to the officials is useless. In that situation, were you supposed to just take it and let him keep pinching you? Then Crowder chased you down again. As you tangled, you gave his side another hard pinch, while Crowder winced and doubled over. You sprinted out beyond the arc, caught the pass, and drilled a 3. Crowder clutched his side, cursing viciously in his head. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Then he got in your face and snarled. Easterner, you're going to pay for that. This pinching exchange between you two was so subtle that even the other 8 players on the court had no idea what was happening, let alone the refs. Crowder was fuming now. He'd planned to pinch this Easterner's side to provoke him into losing his cool. The Easterner had already been burned once. If he could get him angry enough to throw a punch, or even just curse at him and pick up a technical, he'd get ejected. But this Easterner didn't get mad. He pinched right back, hurting like hell. and kept hitting threes in his face. It was infuriating. He watched you backpedal on defense, and a plan formed in his mind. He wanted to teach you a lesson, make you back off. But since he wouldn't learn, you left him no choice. So on the Lakers' next possession, as you came off a screen at the top of the key and rose for a jumper, Crowder, knowing he couldn't block the shot, lunged at you anyway. Right arm raised, looking like a block attempt, but actually swinging straight at your face. And not just your face. The force of Crowder's swing sent you crashing down from midair, slamming hard toward the floor. Crowder finally felt a wave of satisfaction. But before he could enjoy it, a searing pain shot through his groin. In that instant, the whole world seemed to vanish. Or rather, in his world, everything else disappeared, leaving only pain. Pain deep in the bone. Heart-wrenching pain. You know Crowder's dirty habits. You know that when Crowder can't stop you, he'll definitely escalate his physicality, even resort to flagrant fouls. So you're ready for that move. When Crowder swats you down, your upper body falls backward toward the floor, but your right foot times it perfectly, kicking Crowder right in the groin. Is that dirty? Extremely dirty. But when someone's already using non-basketball moves, why should you stay polite, with a smile on your face, playing the perfect gentleman? And for players like that, the refs will at most eject them, then fine them. But next time he'll do it again. Sometimes one move like that can destroy a player's entire career. For someone like that, why show any courtesy? Fight fire with fire. Give him a taste of his own medicine. At this moment, Crowder, hit by excruciating pain below, clutches his groin and collapses to the floor, rolling around in agony. You were prepared for this. So even though the fall looks hard, when you actually land, your left hand protects you. So it's just a little sore, nothing more. But you don't get up right away. Crowder made the first dirty move, and he's still down. You're the victim here. If you get up now, won't that just make the refs sympathize with him more? Fine, might as well play the actor for a bit. With that thought, your right hand clutches your back, gritting your teeth. Your left hand pounding the floor repeatedly. Your teammates rush over, asking how badly you're hurt. You naturally don't answer, acting like you're in too much pain to even speak. Many fans courtside go quiet. Dudley sees this from the sideline. He's about to step onto the court to stand up for you. That's his job on the Lakers. But the assistant coach grabs him and holds him back. At this moment, if anyone off the bench steps on the court, that's a technical foul. Caruso on the court also wants to stand up for you. But when he sees Crowder writhing, in pain on the floor, he's a bit confused. Is this guy faking it? He's the one who swatted you out of the air. What's he hurting for? The Jumbotron shows the replay. Every fan sees Crowder, going straight for your face. The crowd erupts in fury. Damn him. He's a killer. Since when do killers get a play? He belongs in prison. He was going right at him. He should be ejected. But when they see you mid-fall, kick Crowder in the groin. They all gasp in shock at first, especially the male fans with experience. They all wince in sympathy for Crowder, and the crowd breaks into cheers. Nice one. If I were Wang, I'd do the same. Crowder had that coming. On the court now, teammates from both sides come to check on the injured. A teammate asks, Wang, what does it hurt? Your pain seems to ease a bit. Clutching your back, you say, I think it's my back. But I'm not sure. Honestly, everything hurts. The teammate asks a few more questions, finally asking, can you stand up? You sneak a glance at Crowder, seeing that Crowder has already been helped up by his teammates and is sitting on the bench. You say, help me up. I think I can still go. So your teammates help you to your feet. You slowly move your body under the trainer's guidance. Gradually, your pain seems to subside. The refs courtside review the replay over and over. First thing's certain. Crowder definitely committed a flagrant foul because he went for the face. What the refs are looking at now is that kick you landed on Crowder, whether it was intentional or accidental. This time the refs don't deliberate long. They quickly make the call, signaling to the scorer's table. Crowder, flagrant 1, plus 1 technical foul. Wang fouled on a 3-point attempt, 3 free throws, plus the technical foul, free throw. 4 free throws total. And possession stays with the Lakers. 4 free throws and a ball. When the Suns players and their coaching staff hear the call, they all throw their hands up in disbelief. How is this possible? How did this happen? Our player got hurt too. That kick was clearly intentional, especially Paul, looking like he wants to eat the ref alive. Chasing the ref, complaining, pointing at you. He tells the ref, did you not see that move? He's dirty. Someone like that shouldn't be on the court. But the refs ignore their complaints entirely. Instead, they give them a warning. Keep complaining. And it's a team technical. In the replay room, famed NBA referum Jovier explains. Looking at the mechanics, Wang was in a fadeaway shooting motion. On a fadeaway, one leg naturally extends forward. When Crowder lunged and swatted Wang to the floor, that extended right foot rose a bit higher. That's just to maintain balance. A natural instinctive reaction. So while he objectively hurt Crowder, there was no intent. And this all started because Crowder invaded Wang's cylinder. Wang extended his leg, but it stayed within his own cylinder. So we rule that Wang committed. No fault. You sit on the bench for a moment. Teammates suggest you head to the locker room for a quick check, but you just shrug and say, "Thanks, but no need. I feel much better. I'm in great shape." The trainer falls silent at that. The teammates around you hear it, and they all understand. Especially LeBron. He's flopped before too. He knows all the ins and outs. A knowing smile crosses his face. He pats you on the shoulder. "Good job, brother." That's competitive sports. Results are all that matter. As long as you don't cross the line, then to fight for the win. You can do whatever it takes. Everyone knows Miller's game winner, and that Jordan pushed off on that play. But can you change the result? The rest of the team breathes a sigh of relief. As long as you're not hurt, that's what matters. Once you've recovered, you step to the free throw line. You take all 4 free throws. Your free throw percentage is 88%. All 4 shots swish through. The Lakers then inbound the ball. You come off a screen and catch the pass again. Crowder, having recovered, chases after you. You hold the ball with both hands, looking Crowder in the eye. A faint, barely there smile at the corner of your mouth. Crowder sees that look, that smile, clearly up to no good. His heart tightens. A chill rises from his lower body. That piercing pain from before seems to hit him all over again. He's still trying to contest the shot, but he's clearly not closing out as hard. More like a token contest. That's no pressure for you at all. Swish, the ball sails over Crowder's head. Nothing but net. Your 4 free throws, plus that 3-pointer. 7 points in a single possession. The lead stretched to 33. The Suns were forced to call another timeout. Only 2 minutes remained in the third quarter. During the timeout, Paul kept clapping, his hands trying to fire up his teammates. He kept pushing Booker. "Devin, you need to step up. You're going to be the sole leader of this team one day, so you have to step up now." But the Suns' momentum was already gone, especially Crowder. When he came back on the court, his aggressive defense was nowhere to be found. He looked hesitant on every defensive possession, especially guarding you. He wouldn't even get too close. Seems like that kick left a mental scar. The Suns' fate was sealed. The Lakers took this game comfortably. LeBron's stat line for the night: 23 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. Another near triple-double that drives perfectionists crazy. He's the cornerstone of this team, whether they win or lose. The Lakers need those numbers from him as a baseline. But the biggest hero of the game was none other than you. 26 minutes off the bench. You dropped a double-double with 28 points and 10 blocks, including 7, 4, 10 from 3, 5, 4, 5 from the free throw line, 1, 4, 1-on-2s. Absolutely terrifying efficiency, especially that 3-point percentage. You keep proving that you're a reliable 3-point shooter. After the game, Paul didn't come over to shake hands with the Lakers players. He turned and walked straight to the tunnel. Didn't even say goodbye to his brother LeBron. Understandable. He's an incredibly competitive player. Losing by 30 points like that, he's in no mood for pleasantries. The post-game on-court interview, naturally, was you again. You answered the reporters' questions flawlessly as always. After showering, LeBron invited you to the press conference again. You didn't decline. A spot at the post-game press conference. Few players would turn that down. Meanwhile, at the press conference room, the Suns' post-game presser was already underway. The Suns had Paul, Booker, and Crowder attending. After they answered some routine questions, a reporter asked Crowder a question. "Crowder, during the game, you and Wang from the Lakers both hit the floor. You swiped at his face. He kicked you in the groin. The refs called you for a flagrant one. What do you have to say about that?" Crowder shook his head and said, "No question. I was going for the ball. I accidentally hit his face, but his move was clearly intentional. That was a dirty play. He should have been ejected." By now, he'd fully recovered his composure, so he started running his mouth again, spouting nonsense. The reporter continued, "But from the replay, we can see that ball was already well above your head. Your first reaction wasn't to go for the block, but to swing your hand straight at his face. A lot of people are saying it was intentional. What's your explanation?" Crowder was getting heated. He glared at the reporter. "You're not me. How would you know what I was thinking? That Eastern guy clearly did it on purpose. Why don't you go ask him?" The reporter shook his head. "By your logic, you're not him either. So how do you know he definitely did it on purpose? Crowder was left speechless. He snorted coldly. I refuse to answer your question. With that, he stood up and stormed off, walking out mid-press conference. In the NBA, that's considered disrespectful to the media and comes with a fine. But Crowder didn't care anymore. Shortly after they left, LeBron and you walked into the room. The reporters' cameras immediately went off in a frenzy. You'd done press conferences before, but this was the first time you'd been swarmed by this many cameras. This is the exposure that comes with being a Laker. The Lakers are a traditional powerhouse. In a big market like Los Angeles, they get way more attention than small market teams. So here, as long as you perform well, you'll never lack for spotlight. Once you and LeBron were seated, the reporters began too.